Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her vivid imagination and her talent for painting. Her parents ran a small art supply shop, and Elara spent her days creating beautiful artworks inspired by the world around her. One day, while exploring the attic of their old house, Elara stumbled upon a dusty, ornate frame. Inside it was a blank canvas that seemed to shimmer in the light. Intrigued, Elara decided to take the frame down to her studio and paint something on it. As she began to paint, she felt an unusual sense of excitement. She painted a vibrant, magical forest with towering trees, sparkling streams, and colorful flowers. As she added the final touch, a magnificent golden phoenix, the canvas glowed brightly. Suddenly, the painting came to life, and Elara found herself standing in the very forest she had just painted. Elara was amazed by the beauty of the enchanted forest. She wandered through the trees, marveling at the crystal-clear streams and the melodious songs of the birds. As she explored, she met a talking squirrel named Pip. Pip explained that she had entered the enchanted forest, a magical place that existed in the world of her imagination. However, Pip also warned her of a great danger. The enchanted forest was under threat from a dark sorcerer named Malakar, who sought to drain the forest's magic to increase his own power. The only way to save the forest was to find the Crystal of Light, hidden deep within the Cave of Echoes. Determined to save the beautiful world she had created, Elara agreed to embark on the quest to find the Crystal of Light. Pip offered to be her guide, and together they set off on their adventure. Their journey was filled with challenges and obstacles. They had to cross the Bridge of Illusions, which played tricks on their eyes and made it difficult to find the correct path. Elara used her creativity to visualize the true bridge and guide them safely across. Next, they encountered the Garden of Whispers, where enchanted flowers whispered distracting and confusing thoughts. Elara focused on the soothing sound of a babbling brook, helping her stay calm and lead Pip through the garden without losing their way. Finally, they reached the entrance to the Cave of Echoes. The cave was dark and foreboding, with eerie echoes that seemed to come from all directions. Pip cautioned Elara that the echoes could lead them astray, but Elara had an idea. She began to sing a simple, cheerful tune. Her song echoed through the cave, creating a melody that they could follow. As they ventured deeper into the cave, they encountered Malakar. The dark sorcerer was a tall, shadowy figure with eyes that glowed with malice. He tried to stop them by casting dark spells, but Elara's song seemed to weaken his magic. With Pip's encouragement, Elara continued to sing, her voice growing stronger and more confident. Eventually, they reached a hidden chamber deep within the cave. In the center of the chamber was the Crystal of Light, glowing with a brilliant, pure light. Malakar tried to seize it, but Elara's song reached its crescendo, and the crystal's light intensified. The light overwhelmed Malakar, banishing him from the enchanted forest forever. With the Crystal of Light in her hands, Elara felt a surge of energy and creativity. She and Pip made their way back to the forest, where she placed the crystal on a pedestal at the heart of the enchanted forest. The forest came alive with vibrant colors and renewed magic. The trees grew taller, the flowers bloomed brighter, and the stream sparkled like diamonds. Elara bid farewell to Pip and the magical creatures of the enchanted forest, knowing that she could return whenever she wished through her enchanted painting. She stepped back through the frame and found herself in her studio once more. From that day on, Elara's paintings were more vibrant and alive than ever before. She shared the story of her adventure with the villagers, inspiring them with her courage and creativity. The enchanted painting became a treasured family heirloom, passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of imagination and the magic that lies within each of us. And so, Elara's legacy lived on, as her paintings continued to bring joy and wonder to all who beheld them. The enchanted forest flourished, protected by the light of creativity and the heart of a brave young girl who believed in the magic of her own imagination. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a misty forest, there was a quaint village named Luminera. The village was known for its vibrant gardens and shimmering streams, but it had one unique treasure: a magical lantern that was said to light the way for anyone who was lost or in need. The lantern was housed in the village's oldest cottage, which belonged to an elderly woman named Grandma Esme. She was known throughout the land for her kindness and wisdom. The lantern was a family heirloom, passed down through generations, and its soft, golden glow was believed to have the power to reveal hidden truths and guide people through their darkest hours. One day, the village was visited by a young prince named Leo from the neighboring kingdom of Eldoria. He had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and was intrigued by its magic. The prince was on a quest to find a rare and precious flower known as the moon blossom, which only bloomed once every 100 years under the light of the full moon. The moon blossom had the power to cure his kingdom's ailing land. Grandma Esme welcomed Prince Leo warmly and listened to his tale. "The moon blossom is indeed a rare flower," she said, "and its blooming is a sight to behold. However, finding it requires more than just luck. It requires a heart that is pure and intentions that are true." The prince, determined to help his kingdom, asked Grandma Esme if she would lend him the enchanted lantern to aid in his quest. She agreed, but only if Leo promised to return it once his mission was complete, for the lantern held great significance to her family. With the lantern in hand, Prince Leo set out into the forest under the light of the full moon. The lantern's warm glow guided his path through the tangled woods and winding streams. As he ventured deeper, he encountered various challenges: swift rivers, steep cliffs, and dense thickets. Yet, the lantern's light always found a way to show him the safest path forward. During his journey, Leo came across a small, mysterious creature, a talking fox named Finn. Finn had a coat of shimmering silver and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. "Why are you traveling so far into the forest?" Finn asked. "I am searching for the moon blossom," Prince Leo explained. "It is said to bloom only under the full moon, and I need it to save my kingdom." Finn's eyes widened with understanding. "I know where the moon blossom blooms, but it's a dangerous path. The lantern's light will help you, but you must also have a brave heart and a clear mind." Grateful for Finn's help, Leo followed him through the forest. The two of them faced many trials, from crossing rickety bridges to outsmarting mischievous sprites. With the lantern's guidance and Finn's assistance, they finally reached a secluded glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade was a majestic flower, the moon blossom. Its petals glowed with an ethereal light, and its fragrance filled the air with a sense of peace and hope. Prince Leo carefully collected the moon blossom and thanked Finn for his guidance. As he turned to leave, he noticed that the lantern's light was growing dim. The enchantment that had guided him was fading, and the path back seemed uncertain. Leo realized that he needed to return the lantern to Grandma Esme, as promised. With the moon blossom secured, Leo made his way back to the village. The journey was still challenging, but the memories of his adventure and his commitment to his kingdom's welfare kept him steady. Upon returning the lantern to Grandma Esme, he presented her with the moon blossom. "You have fulfilled your promise," Grandma Esme said, smiling. "And you have shown great courage and purity of heart. The lantern will continue to guide those in need, and the moon blossom will heal your kingdom." Prince Leo returned to Eldoria, where the moon blossom was used to restore the land to its former glory. His kingdom thrived once more, and he was celebrated as a hero. He often thought fondly of the enchanted lantern in the village of Luminera, where his journey had begun. The lantern remained in Grandma Esme's cottage, its light still shining brightly for those who sought guidance. The story of Prince Leo and the enchanted lantern became a beloved legend in Luminera, reminding everyone of the power of bravery, kindness, and the magic of a guiding light. And so, the village of Luminera continued to glow with the light of hope and adventure, ever ready to illuminate the path for those who ventured into the forest in search of their own dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in the magical land of Alicia, there was a small village named Bramblebrook. This village was surrounded by dense forests, crystal-clear lakes, and meadows filled with wildflowers. The people of Bramblebrook lived simple, happy lives, but they had a secret longing. They wished to see the legendary silver unicorn, a mystical creature believed to bring good fortune and eternal peace. In Bramblebrook lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind-hearted and adventurous, with a curiosity that knew no bounds. Her grandmother, Esme, would often tell her tales of the silver unicorn and its magical powers. Elara dreamed of one day seeing the unicorn and bringing its blessings to her village. One fateful spring, a terrible drought struck Bramblebrook. The rivers dried up, crops withered, and the villagers grew desperate. Elara, seeing the suffering of her friends and family, decided it was time to find the silver unicorn. With a heart full of hope and determination, she set off into the unknown. Elara's journey led her into the heart of the enchanted forest, a place teeming with magic and mystery. As she walked through the forest, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion, perched on a low branch. Orion had seen many travelers come and go, but none with such pure intentions as Elara. "Why do you venture into the enchanted forest, young one?" Orion asked, his voice deep and resonant. "I seek the silver unicorn," Elara replied. "Our village is suffering from a terrible drought, and I hope to bring back its blessings." Orion nodded thoughtfully. "The path to the silver unicorn is perilous and full of challenges. You must possess courage, wisdom, and kindness to succeed. Take this feather," he said, plucking one of his own and handing it to her. "It will light your way in the darkest times." Elara thanked Orion and continued her journey, the feather glowing softly in her hand. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she came across a shimmering pond. At the edge of the pond stood a beautiful deer with eyes as blue as sapphires. "Greetings, traveler," the deer said. "I am Luna, the guardian of this pond. Why do you seek the silver unicorn?" Elara explained her quest, and Luna listened intently. "The silver unicorn resides in the Valley of Echoes, beyond the misty mountains," Luna said. "But to reach it, you must first solve a riddle. If you succeed, I will guide you to the mountains." Elara agreed, and Luna recited the riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, and I can drown. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment, then smiled. "You are fire," she answered confidently. Luna nodded in approval. "You are correct, Elara. Follow me, and I will lead you to the misty mountains." Luna led Elara through the forest, and they soon reached the base of the misty mountains. The peaks were hidden in swirling mists, and the air was chilly. Elara began her climb, using the owl's feather to light her path. The journey was arduous, and she faced many obstacles, but her determination never wavered. At last, Elara reached the Valley of Echoes, a serene place where every sound seemed to linger and repeat. In the center of the valley stood the silver unicorn, its coat glistening like moonlight and its eyes filled with ancient wisdom. The unicorn stepped forward, its hooves barely making a sound on the soft grass. "Why have you come, young Elara?" the unicorn asked, its voice as gentle as a breeze. "I seek your help, noble unicorn," Elara said, bowing respectfully. "My village is suffering from a drought, and I hope to bring back your blessings to save my people." The silver unicorn looked at her with kind eyes. "You have shown great courage and a pure heart. I will grant your wish, but first, you must complete one final task. You must find the Heartstone hidden within this valley. It is a symbol of love and hope, and only those with true intentions can find it." Elara set off through the valley, her eyes scanning every nook and cranny. She walked for hours, but the Heartstone eluded her. Exhausted, she sat down and began to sing a lullaby her grandmother used to sing to her. As she sang, a soft glow appeared beneath a nearby tree. Elara approached and found the Heartstone, glowing with a gentle light. She returned to the silver unicorn and presented the Heartstone. "You have succeeded, Elara," the unicorn said. "Your pure heart and determination have proven your worth. I will grant your village the rain it needs." The unicorn raised its head and let out a melodious call. The skies darkened, and rain began to fall gently, soaking the earth. Elara felt a sense of relief and joy wash over her. "Thank you, noble unicorn," she said, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "Remember, Elara," the silver unicorn said, "true magic lies within the heart. Your love and courage have brought this blessing upon your village." Elara returned to Bramblebrook, where the rain had already begun to revive the land. The villagers rejoiced, and her parents embraced her, proud of their brave daughter. The story of Elara's journey spread far and wide, inspiring others to believe in the power of love, courage, and selflessness. And so, the village of Bramblebrook thrived once more, forever grateful to the girl who brought the blessings of the silver unicorn to their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there was a legend about a magical lantern that only appeared during the full moon. This lantern was said to have the power to grant one wish to anyone who found it, but only if their heart was pure and their wish was selfless. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara was known for her generosity and her love for her small community. She often helped her neighbors, whether it was by sharing her family's produce or assisting with chores. Despite her kind nature, Elara had always longed for one thing: to see the world beyond the village. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Elara decided to embark on a quest to find the legendary lantern. With a heart full of hope and a small satchel of essentials, she ventured into the nearby forest, guided by the moonlight filtering through the canopy of leaves. As Elara walked deeper into the forest, the moonlight seemed to create a path of silver on the ground. The trees whispered secrets, and the forest creatures watched her with curious eyes. She followed the path, feeling a mixture of excitement and trepidation. After walking for what felt like hours, Elara reached a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient stone pedestal, and atop it was a beautifully crafted lantern, glowing with a soft, ethereal light. The lantern was adorned with intricate patterns and seemed to shimmer with a magical aura. Elara approached the lantern, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she reached out to take it, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. "Who seeks the moonlit lantern?" asked a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "I am Elara," she replied, "and I seek the lantern to make a wish." The owl's eyes gleamed with curiosity. "A wish, you say? But remember, the lantern's magic is granted only to those with selfless hearts. What is your wish?" Elara took a deep breath and thought about her desire. She had always dreamed of exploring distant lands and experiencing new adventures. But she also knew that her village needed her. The thought of leaving her home and her loved ones behind made her heart ache. "I wish," Elara began, "for the ability to bring joy and wonder to my village, so that everyone can experience the magic and beauty I found here in the forest." The owl's feathers ruffled in approval. "Your wish is selfless and noble. The moonlit lantern's magic will grant it." With that, the owl flew up into the night sky, and the lantern's light grew brighter, casting a warm, golden glow over the clearing. The lantern's light spread through the forest, illuminating the trees and flowers with a magical radiance. As the light touched the village, the villagers awoke to find their surroundings transformed. The once familiar landscape was now adorned with sparkling lights, blooming flowers, and enchanting creatures. The village square was filled with colorful lanterns floating in the air, casting a soft, whimsical glow. The villagers gathered outside, their faces filled with wonder and delight. Elara's wish had brought a touch of magic to their lives, turning their ordinary world into a place of enchantment and joy. The villagers celebrated with a grand feast, sharing stories and laughter under the moonlit sky. Elara, standing in the heart of the celebration, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She realized that her wish had not only brought magic to her village, but had also allowed her to share her love for her home with everyone around her. As the moon began to set and the lantern's light dimmed, the owl returned to Elara's side. "Your selflessness has created a lasting magic," the owl said. "The lantern's gift is now a part of your village's legacy." With that, the owl took flight, disappearing into the dawn. Elara returned to her home, her heart filled with contentment and joy. The village continued to thrive, inspired by the magic of the moonlit lantern and the kindness of one young girl. And so, the legend of the moonlit lantern lived on, a reminder that true magic is found not in the wishes we make for ourselves but in the joy we bring to others and the love we share with our community. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village named Eldergrove, there was a well known for its mystical whispers. The well, tucked away in the heart of an ancient forest, was said to hold the wisdom of the ages. It whispered secrets to those who approached it with a pure heart and a kind spirit. The villagers believed that listening to the whispers could guide them through their greatest challenges. The village was home to a kind-hearted young woman named Iris. Iris loved her village deeply and was known for her generous spirit. Despite her humble means, she always found ways to help those in need, whether it was nursing sick animals back to health or aiding her neighbors with their daily tasks. One spring, a severe drought struck Eldergrove. The once vibrant fields became parched, and the riverbeds ran dry. The villagers were troubled, for their crops were failing, and their wells were running low. The only hope was the Whispering Well, which had not been visited in many years. The village elder, Old Merle, suggested that Iris seek the well's guidance. With a heavy heart, Iris agreed. She ventured into the forest, following the winding path to the Whispering Well. As she walked, the forest seemed unusually silent, and the air grew cooler. Eventually, she reached the well, its stones covered in moss and its rim lined with wildflowers. Iris approached the well and leaned over, peering into its depths. "Great Whispering Well," she called softly, "our village is suffering from a terrible drought. We need your wisdom to save our crops and our home." For a moment, there was silence. Then, a gentle, soothing voice emerged from the well. "To save your village, you must find the hidden spring that feeds this well. It lies beneath the ancient oak tree in the heart of the forest. The path will be revealed to you if your heart is true." Iris thanked the well and set off towards the ancient oak tree. The journey was arduous, as the forest seemed to shift and change with every step she took. After hours of walking, she finally reached the grand oak, its branches spreading wide like welcoming arms. At the base of the oak, Iris noticed a large, smooth stone covered in intricate carvings. She touched the stone, and it began to glow with a soft, golden light. The carvings shifted, revealing a hidden passage beneath the oak's roots. Iris descended into the passage, which led to a subterranean cavern. In the center of the cavern was a small spring, its water shimmering with a magical light. She knew this must be the spring that fed the Whispering Well. As Iris knelt by the spring, she saw that it was choked with debris and overgrown roots. With gentle hands and a kind heart, she began to clear the debris, her movements careful and deliberate. As she worked, she spoke softly to the spring, promising to care for it and protect it as she would her own home. As the last of the debris was removed, the spring began to flow more freely, its waters sparkling with renewed energy. Iris watched in awe as the water swirled and surged, filling the cavern with a soft, melodic sound. With the spring revitalized, Iris made her way back to Eldergrove. She arrived just in time to see the first drops of rain fall from the sky, followed by a steady downpour. The rain nourished the parched fields and filled the riverbeds, bringing life back to the village. The villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude. They honored Iris for her bravery and selflessness, recognizing that her pure heart and determination had saved their home. The Whispering Well, now revitalized by the spring's renewed flow, continued to offer its wisdom to those who sought it. Iris became a beloved figure in Eldergrove, and her story was told for generations as a reminder of the power of kindness and the importance of listening to the whispers of one's heart. And so, Eldergrove flourished once more, its fields green and fertile, its people content and hopeful. The village thrived under the watchful gaze of the Whispering Well and the gentle guidance of a young woman who had listened and acted with love. The Whispering Willow. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled by the edge of a vast, enchanted forest, stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. The villagers believed that the tree could communicate with the spirits of nature and grant wisdom to those who sought its counsel. The tree was adorned with sparkling flowers that glowed softly in the moonlight, and its branches swayed even when there was no wind, as if whispering secrets to those who listened closely. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Ilara. Ilara had a special bond with the forest. She often wandered its paths, talking to the animals and caring for the plants. One day, a mysterious fog rolled into the village, casting an eerie silence over the land. The fog brought with it an unsettling chill, and the villagers soon discovered that their crops were withering and their animals were falling ill. The call for help desperate to save her village, Elara decided to visit the Whispering Willow, hoping it could provide a solution to the village's troubles. Guided by the dim light of the glowing flowers, Elara made her way to the tree. The ancient willow's branches seemed to reach out to her as she approached. As she stood before the tree, Elara spoke softly, "Great Whispering Willow, my village is suffering. Please, tell me how I can help." The tree's leaves rustled, and a gentle voice, like a soothing breeze, answered, "To restore the balance, you must embark on a journey to find the Heartstone, a magical gem that lies hidden within the forest. Only the Heartstone can lift the fog and heal the land." The enchanted quest the Whispering Willow gave Elara a shimmering pendant, saying, "This pendant will guide you to the Heartstone. But beware, the forest is filled with challenges that will test your courage and heart." With the pendant clutched tightly, Elara set off into the forest. The pendant glowed softly, casting a warm light as she ventured deeper. The forest was filled with enchanting sights, glowing mushrooms, talking animals, and streams that sang sweet melodies. Yet, the fog loomed, making everything seem distant and shadowy. Her first challenge was a maze of tangled vines. The vines twisted and shifted, trying to confuse her. Remembering the Whispering Willow's advice to trust her heart, Elara focused on the pendant's light. It guided her through the maze, and she emerged into a clearing. The trials of the Heartstone in the clearing stood a majestic fox named Aurelius. Aurelius, with fur as silver as moonlight, guarded the entrance to the Heartstone's resting place. He spoke in riddles, testing Elara's wisdom and patience. Elara answered each riddle with sincerity and clarity, and Aurelius granted her passage. Next, Elara reached a shimmering lake. At the center of the lake, on a small island, lay the Heartstone, glowing with a warm, golden light. To reach the island, she had to cross a bridge made of ethereal light. The bridge was delicate and wobbled with each step. As she crossed, the fog tried to push her off balance, but Elara remained focused, guided by the pendant's steady glow. The Heartstone's power. When Elara reached the Heartstone, she could feel its powerful energy. She carefully picked it up and felt a surge of warmth and light flow through her. With the Heartstone in hand, she made her way back through the forest, using the pendant to navigate. As Elara emerged from the forest and approached her village, she held the Heartstone high. The gem's light pierced through the fog, dissipating it and restoring the vibrant colors of the land. The crops began to flourish, and the animals regained their strength. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Elara's bravery and determination. They gathered around the Whispering Willow to thank it for guiding Elara on her quest. The tree's branches swayed with a gentle rustle, as if whispering its own gratitude. A lasting legacy. Elara's adventure became a cherished story in the village. The Whispering Willow continued to stand as a symbol of wisdom and hope, and the Heartstone was placed in a special grove as a reminder of the courage and unity that saved the village. And so, the village thrived, and Elara's name became synonymous with bravery and kindness. The enchanted forest remained a place of magic and wonder, forever blessed by the Heartstone and the Whispering Willow's gentle whispers. In a kingdom far away, nestled between emerald hills and golden fields, there lay a hidden village known as Bramblewood. Bramblewood was a charming place where the air was always filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the laughter of its cheerful inhabitants. Yet, the village had one great mystery, an ancient lantern that hung in the village square, said to be enchanted. The lantern was old, with intricate designs of flowers and stars, and it glowed faintly with a warm, golden light. Legend had it that this lantern held the power to grant one wish to anyone who could solve its riddle. But for years, no one had been able to unravel the mystery. One fine day, a brave and kind-hearted girl named Lila arrived in Bramblewood. She had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and was eager to try her luck. Lila was known throughout the land for her adventurous spirit and her generous heart. She believed that if she could solve the riddle, she could use the wish to help those in need. As she entered the village, she saw the lantern swinging gently in the breeze. The villagers gathered around it, admiring its beauty but feeling a bit wary of its magic. Lila approached the lantern with a confident smile and said, "I'd like to try solving the lantern's riddle." The village elder, an old man with a long, white beard, nodded. "Very well, young one. The lantern's riddle has perplexed many, but we will see if you have the answer." The lantern's light flickered and then, magically, a riddle appeared in the air. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. Asterisk, what am I?" Asterisk. Lila pondered the riddle deeply. She thought about the clues: something that grows but isn't alive, needs air but not lungs, and is extinguished by water. She walked around the village, observing the landscape and talking to the villagers, searching for inspiration. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over Bramblewood, Lila noticed a small fire burning in a nearby hearth. The flames danced and flickered, casting warm light and shadows. Suddenly, it struck her. With a look of realization, Lila hurried back to the lantern and declared, "The answer is fire." The lantern's light intensified, and a soft, melodious chime echoed through the village. The riddle was solved. The lantern's glow brightened, filling the village square with a warm, comforting light. A shimmering figure appeared before Lila. It was a benevolent spirit with a crown of stars and a flowing robe of silver. The spirit spoke in a gentle voice, "You have solved the riddle with wisdom and insight. As a reward, you may make a wish. Remember, a wish made with a selfless heart brings the greatest reward." Lila thought about her village back home and the people who struggled. She closed her eyes and wished, "I wish for the people of Bramblewood to always have light and warmth, so they never feel lonely or cold." The spirit smiled warmly and said, "Your wish is noble and kind. The magic of the lantern will ensure that Bramblewood will always have light and warmth, and the hearts of its people will always be filled with joy and togetherness." With that, the spirit vanished, and the lantern's light became even more radiant. The village was filled with a soft, golden glow that lasted all night, making everyone feel cozy and secure. The villagers were overjoyed. They celebrated Lila's bravery and kindness, and from that day on, the lantern's light never dimmed. The village of Bramblewood thrived, and its people lived happily, knowing they were always surrounded by warmth and light. Lila returned to her own village with a heart full of happiness, knowing she had made a difference. And whenever she looked up at the stars, she remembered the enchanted lantern and the magic it brought to Bramblewood. The enchanted lantern. Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by emerald forests and sparkling rivers, there was a legend of a magical lantern hidden deep in the woods. This lantern was said to grant one wish to anyone who found it, provided their heart was pure and their intentions noble. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Elara. Elara loved to help others and often spent her days tending to the village gardens and assisting her neighbors. One day, as she was picking flowers by the river, she overheard an old storyteller recounting the tale of the enchanted lantern. Intrigued, Elara decided that she wanted to find the lantern and use its magic to help her village, which had recently fallen on hard times. The journey begins. Determined, Elara set out early the next morning, carrying only a small satchel with some bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. The path to the lantern was said to be fraught with challenges, so she needed to be prepared. As she ventured into the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was filled with the sound of rustling leaves. After walking for a while, she encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. The first challenge, the riddle of the owl. The owl looked at Elara with its large, knowing eyes and spoke, "To proceed, you must answer my riddle. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." The owl hooted in approval and flapped its wings, revealing a hidden path illuminated by a soft, golden light. Elara followed the path deeper into the forest. The second challenge, the mysterious stream. The path led Elara to a babbling stream with sparkling water. As she approached, she noticed that the stream was obstructed by floating stones that seemed to shift and move. On the opposite bank stood a small, delicate fairy. The fairy fluttered her wings and said, "To cross the stream, You must find the pattern in the stones. Only then will you safely reach the other side. Elara carefully observed the stones and noticed that they formed a pattern of twinkling lights when aligned in a specific order. She stepped on the stones according to the pattern and successfully crossed the stream. The third challenge, the Whispering Grove on the other side of the stream. Elara entered a grove where the trees seemed to whisper secrets to one another. She was greeted by a friendly squirrel who asked her to solve the final riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Elara answered, a joke. The squirrel nodded and scurried away, revealing a hidden entrance covered in vines. Elara pushed through the entrance and found herself in a serene glade. The enchanted lantern in the center of the glade stood, a beautiful, ornate lantern hanging from an ancient oak tree. The lantern was glowing softly, casting a warm, inviting light. Elara approached and gently lifted the lantern. As she held it, a gentle voice emanated from the lantern. To use my magic, you must make a wish with a pure heart. Elara closed her eyes and made her wish. I wish for my village to prosper and for the people to be happy and healthy. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a soft breeze carried the magic back to the village. As Elara made her way home, she could see the signs of change. The fields were lush and green, the river flowed abundantly, and the village was bustling with renewed energy and joy. The return home. When Elara returned, the villagers greeted her with joy and gratitude. The village was thriving once more, and the magic of the enchanted lantern had brought prosperity and happiness to everyone. Elara's kindness and bravery were celebrated, and the tale of her journey was passed down through generations. The enchanted lantern became a symbol of hope and the power of selfless wishes. And so, Elara's village continued to flourish, forever touched by the magic of the enchanted lantern in the heart of a young girl who wished for the happiness of others. In a quiet, misty valley surrounded by towering mountains and ancient forests, there was a quaint village named Bramblewood. The village was known for its serene beauty and the mysterious fog that often enveloped it, giving it an ethereal quality. At the heart of the village was a cozy little shop owned by an old toymaker named Mr. Finch. His shop was filled with intricate toys and curiosities, but the most enchanting item was a beautifully crafted lantern that glowed with a soft, golden light. The lantern was said to have magical properties, though no one knew its true power. The village children were fascinated by it, and even the adults would occasionally gaze at it with a sense of wonder. One evening, as the village prepared for the harvest festival, a young girl named Lily wandered into Mr. Finch's shop. Lily was known for her boundless curiosity and kind heart. She had always been drawn to the lantern, and today, she felt an irresistible urge to learn more about it. Mr. Finch, Lily said, her eyes wide with curiosity, can you tell me about this lantern? Mr. Finch, who had a twinkle in his eye, replied, Ah, the enchanted lantern. It is a special piece, indeed. Legend has it that the lantern holds the power to reveal hidden truths and guide those who seek it with a pure heart. But its magic is not easily unlocked. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement. How can I unlock its magic? Mr. Finch smiled gently. To reveal its true power, you must embark on a quest. The lantern will guide you to 3 places in the valley where you will find clues. Only by solving the mysteries at each place will you unlock the lantern's magic. Lily accepted the challenge with enthusiasm. As night fell and the harvest festival began, she took the lantern and set out on her quest. The first clue led her to an ancient oak tree at the edge of the village. The tree was old and wise, its branches stretching out like arms welcoming visitors. Lily approached the tree and noticed a small, intricately carved wooden box nestled among the roots. Inside the box was a parchment with a riddle, where shadows dance and moonlight plays, find the song where the heart stays. Lily pondered the riddle and remembered the village's old folklore about the moonlit glade, a place where moonlight created enchanting patterns on the ground. She made her way to the glade, where the moon's light indeed danced in delicate patterns. In the center of the glade was a stone pedestal with a small, silver music box. When Lily opened the music box, it played a beautiful, melodic tune. The melody was soothing, and Lily felt a sense of calm and clarity. She realized that the music box was the key to the next clue. As the music played, a hidden compartment in the pedestal opened, revealing a second parchment with another riddle: where waters whisper and secrets hide, the key to the past is where dreams reside. Lily followed the clue to the Whispering Pond, a serene and secluded spot in the forest where the water was said to carry secrets of the past. As she approached the pond, she heard faint whispers carried by the breeze. At the edge of the pond, Lily found a small, golden locket resting on a rock. Opening the locket, Lily discovered a third parchment with a final riddle: where stars converge and wishes are made, seek the light where the night's embrace fades. With the final clue in hand, Lily made her way to the highest point in the valley, known as the Starlight Ridge. Here, the night sky was at its most brilliant, and the stars seemed to touch the earth. As she gazed at the stars, she noticed a small, hidden cave illuminated by the gentle light of a single star. Inside the cave, Lily found a delicate, crystal-clear vial filled with sparkling stardust. The vial emitted a soft, shimmering glow, and as she held it up, the lantern began to respond, its golden light growing brighter. Lily returned to Mr. Finch's shop, where the old toymaker awaited her. She placed the vial and the lantern on the counter, and Mr. Finch nodded approvingly. "You have completed the quest," he said. "The lantern's magic is now fully unlocked. It will guide you in times of need and reveal hidden truths." As Lily held the lantern up, its light seemed to expand and fill the room with a warm, comforting glow. The lantern's golden light revealed a hidden compartment in the shop's wall, where a beautiful, ancient map was stored. The map showed hidden paths and secrets of the valley, and Mr. Finch explained that the lantern would help guide the villagers in times of trouble or when they needed to find their way. It was a symbol of hope and guidance, reminding them that light and truth could always be found, even in the darkest times. Lily's adventure became a cherished story in Bramblewood, and the enchanted lantern was celebrated as a symbol of the village's unity and resilience. The lantern continued to shine brightly, guiding and inspiring the villagers, and Lily became known as the girl who unlocked the magic of the lantern with her pure heart and unwavering curiosity. And so, the village of Bramblewood thrived, illuminated by the light of the enchanted lantern and the spirit of discovery that it inspired in all who beheld it. In a tranquil corner of the world, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lay the village of Evergreen. This village was known for its serene beauty and its most enchanting feature, the Whispering Glade. The glade was a mystical forest where trees whispered secrets to those who listened closely and where moonlight danced on leaves, creating a shimmering, magical glow. The guardian of this enchanting place was an elderly woman named Elara. Elara had lived in Evergreen all her life and was known for her wisdom and kindness. Her greatest joy was tending to the Whispering Glade, which had been a source of wonder and comfort for the villagers for generations. One evening, as twilight turned the sky into a canvas of pink and gold, a young girl named Lily arrived at Evergreen. Lily was curious and brave, with a heart full of wonder. She had heard tales of the Whispering Glade and its magical secrets and came to see if the stories were true. The glade's secret Elara welcomed Lily warmly and agreed to take her to the Whispering Glade. As they walked through the forest, Elara explained that the glade was special because it held a powerful secret, one that was protected by a hidden enchantment. This secret was a magical crystal known as the Heart of the Glade. The crystal had the power to grant one true wish, but only to someone who proved their worthiness. When they reached the heart of the glade, a small, clear pool surrounded by ancient trees, Elara pointed out the crystal nestled at the pool's center. It glowed softly, casting a serene light across the glade. The challenge of courage. Elara told Lily that to be worthy of making a wish, she must face 3 challenges that tested her courage, kindness, and wisdom. The first challenge was to retrieve a special leaf from the top of the tallest tree in the glade. Lily looked up at the towering tree, its branches reaching high into the sky. With determination, she began to climb. The tree's branches were thick and gnarled, but Lily's courage and perseverance helped her overcome her fears. She reached the top and carefully plucked the shimmering leaf, which glowed with a soft light. The challenge of kindness next, Elara led Lily to a small clearing where a magical creature called a Lumisprite was trapped in a net of sparkling threads. The Lumisprite was crying softly, and its light was dimming. Elara explained that the Lumisprite was the guardian of the second challenge, which tested kindness. Lily approached the Lumisprite gently, speaking soothingly. She carefully freed it from the net, using a delicate touch to avoid hurting it. The Lumisprite's light brightened as it felt Lily's compassion. Grateful, it revealed a hidden path through the glade, leading to the final challenge. The challenge of wisdom. The final challenge was to solve a riddle that would reveal the location of the heart of the glade. At the end of the hidden path, Lily found an ancient stone with inscriptions. The riddle read, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lily thought carefully. The answer came to her as she remembered the stories and games she enjoyed. With a confident smile, she answered, "A joke." The stone shifted, revealing a hidden compartment containing the heart of the glade. The true wish. With the heart of the glade in hand, Lily faced her most important decision. Elara had told her that the wish must be selfless, made with the purest of intentions. Lily closed her eyes and thought deeply about what her wish should be. She remembered the stories of how the glade had brought joy and comfort to the villagers of Evergreen. She wished for the Whispering Glade to remain a place of magic and wonder for future generations, so that its beauty and secrets could continue to bring happiness to those who visit it. The heart of the glade glowed brightly, and a soft, musical whisper filled the air, spreading across the forest. The trees swayed gently, and the glade's magic was renewed, stronger and more vibrant than ever. A new guardian. Elara smiled proudly at Lily. The magic of the glade had been restored, and the wish had been fulfilled. Lily's kindness, courage, and wisdom had proven her worthiness. As a reward for her pure heart, Elara offered Lily a special role as the new guardian of the Whispering Glade. Lily accepted with joy, knowing she would help preserve the magic of the glade and share its wonders with others. Lily became a beloved guardian, guiding visitors through the glade and teaching them the values of courage, kindness, and wisdom. The Whispering Glade continued to shine with magical light, a timeless sanctuary where dreams came alive and the whispers of the forest could be heard. And so, in the village of Evergreen, the Whispering Glade remained a beacon of magic and wonder, thanks to the bravery and selflessness of a young girl who embraced the enchantment of the forest and made a wish that would be remembered forever. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and the sparkling river, there was a magical garden known as the Moonlit Garden. This garden was said to be enchanted, blooming only under the light of the full moon. Its flowers were renowned for their vibrant colors and sweet fragrances, which brought peace and joy to anyone who visited. The caretaker of this magical place was a young woman named Elara. She had grown up in the village and had always been fascinated by the stories of the Moonlit Garden's wonders. Her grandmother had passed down the knowledge of the garden's secrets, and now Elara tended to it with love and dedication. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Elara noticed something unusual. Amidst the familiar glow of the garden's flowers, a single, unusual flower had appeared. It was a deep shade of blue, shimmering with an otherworldly light. Elara had never seen anything like it before. As she approached the mysterious flower, a soft voice echoed through the garden. "Thank you for finding me," it said. Elara looked around but saw no one. "Who's there?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. The voice continued, "I am Lysander, a guardian of the Moonlit Garden. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to help me break a spell that has bound me to this garden." Elara was astonished. "A spell? How can I help?" Lysander explained that long ago, he had been transformed into a flower by a wicked sorcerer who sought to control the garden's magic. The only way to break the spell was to gather 3 magical ingredients from the far corners of the land. 1. The golden feather from the peak of the Whispering Mountains. 2. The tear of a star from the depths of the Celestial Lake. 3. The heart of the evergreen tree from the heart of the ancient forest. Determined to help Lysander, Elara set off on her quest. She traveled first to the Whispering Mountains, where the winds carried whispers of ancient secrets. After a challenging climb, she found a golden feather nestled in a nest high atop the peak. The feather shimmered with a warm, golden light. Next, Elara journeyed to the Celestial Lake, a serene and magical place where the water sparkled like diamonds. She waited patiently as the stars reflected on the water's surface. Eventually, a single tear fell from the sky and landed in the lake, turning into a luminous, glowing tear. Her final destination was the ancient forest, where the evergreen tree stood tall and proud. Elara approached the tree with reverence and discovered a hidden chamber within its trunk. Inside was a radiant heart, pulsing with a gentle, green light. With the 3 magical ingredients in hand, Elara returned to the moonlit garden. Under the light of the full moon, she placed the golden feather, the tear of the star, and the heart of the evergreen tree around Lysander's flower. As she did so, the garden was filled with a brilliant light, and Lysander's form began to shimmer and transform. In a flash of light, Lysander appeared before her, no longer a flower but a tall, graceful figure with an aura of gentle light. He thanked Elara for her bravery and kindness. "You have broken the spell and restored the garden's magic," he said. Elara smiled, relieved and happy. "I'm glad I could help. The moonlit garden is truly a special place." Lysander nodded. "And now, you are its new guardian. The garden's magic will be safe with you." From that night on, Elara continued to care for the moonlit garden, ensuring its magic flourished under the light of the full moon. The garden remained a place of wonder and tranquility, cherished by all who visited. And so, the moonlit garden thrived, its blooms glowing brightly with the magic of friendship, bravery, and the gentle light of the moon. The end. Once upon a time, in the tranquil kingdom of Eldoria, there was a hidden realm known as the Meadow of Moonlight. This meadow was famous for its shimmering flowers that only bloomed under the light of the moon, and for the moonflower tree, a majestic tree said to grant one wish to those who approached it with a pure heart. The moonflower tree was hidden deep within the meadow and could only be revealed during the celestial night, when the moon was full and the sky sparkled with stars. In the quaint village of Glimmerbrook, there lived a thoughtful and adventurous girl named Elara. Elara had a deep connection with nature and was known throughout her village for her generosity and courage. Her dearest friend was a clever and brave fox named Milo, who was skilled at navigating through the forest and solving puzzles. One evening, as the celestial night approached, Elara and Milo discovered an ancient, intricately carved locket buried beneath a mossy stone in the forest. The locket contained a delicate, silvery key and a note that read, "The Meadow of Moonlight awaits. Use this key on the celestial night to unlock the magic within." Excited by the prospect of finding the moonflower tree and making a wish, Elara and Milo set out on their journey as the full moon began to rise. The path to the Meadow of Moonlight was illuminated by the soft, ethereal glow of the moon and the twinkling stars above. As they entered the meadow, they were greeted by the enchanting beauty of the moonlit flowers and the soothing sound of a gentle breeze. However, the path to the moonflower tree was blocked by 3 magical challenges. The first challenge was the Maze of Luminescence. They found themselves in a labyrinth of glowing hedges that shifted and changed color. To navigate through the maze, they had to follow the patterns of light that led them to the center. Milo's keen eyes and Elara's careful observation helped them decipher the patterns and find the correct path. After much effort, they emerged from the maze and reached a serene, moonlit clearing. The second challenge was the Whispering Stream. A shimmering stream flowed through the clearing, and its waters whispered riddles that needed to be answered to proceed. A gentle voice from the stream asked, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment and then answered confidently, "A joke." The waters of the stream sparkled with approval, and a bridge of moonlight appeared, leading them to the next challenge. The final challenge was the Garden of Reflections. In this garden, they encountered a series of mirrors that reflected their deepest fears and desires. To continue, they needed to face their reflections and speak their true intentions. Elara and Milo took a deep breath and faced their reflections. Elara saw her greatest wish, to bring happiness and prosperity to her village, reflected back at her. She spoke from her heart, "I wish for the well-being and joy of everyone in Glimmerbrook, so that we may all live in harmony." As Elara's words echoed through the garden, the moonflower tree's branches began to glow with a brilliant, silvery light. The magic of the tree spread throughout the meadow and beyond, touching every corner of Eldoria. When Elara and Milo returned to Glimmerbrook, they found their village transformed. The fields were lush and green, the air was filled with laughter and joy, and the people were deeply content and grateful. The story of Elara and Milo's adventure and the magic of the Meadow of Moonlight became a cherished tale in Eldoria, reminding everyone of the power of selfless wishes and the beauty of a pure heart. And so, the Meadow of Moonlight continued to be a place of magic and wonder, where dreams and wishes were fulfilled under the light of the full moon. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a kind and adventurous girl named Avelini. She resided in a quaint village at the edge of the enchanted forest, a mysterious place filled with magical creatures and ancient secrets. The villagers often told tales of the forest's wonders and dangers, but Avelini's curiosity always drew her to its borders. Avelini lived with her father, a skilled carpenter, and her younger brother, Leo. Their mother had passed away when Leo was just a baby, leaving Avelini to take on the role of caretaker for her family. Despite the hardships, Avelini remained optimistic and full of life. One autumn evening, as the golden leaves fell from the trees, a chilling wind swept through the village. The villagers gathered in the town square to discuss a growing problem. The enchanted forest had begun to spread its roots and vines into the village, causing crops to wither and homes to become entangled. They feared that if the forest's magic continued to encroach, their village would be consumed. An old woman named Matilda, who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the forest, stepped forward. "The forest is alive with magic," she said, "and it is disturbed by an imbalance. The heart of the forest, a magical crystal that keeps the forest in harmony, has been stolen by a dark sorceress named Morgana. Only by retrieving the crystal can we restore balance and save our village." The villagers were frightened, but Avelini felt a stirring of courage within her. "I will go into the enchanted forest and retrieve the heart of the forest," she declared. Despite her father's protests, Avelini was determined to save her home. Equipped with her father's handcrafted bow, a quiver of arrows, and a small satchel of provisions, Avelini set off into the enchanted forest. The forest was both beautiful and eerie, with towering trees that seemed to whisper secrets and glowing flowers that lit her path. She walked for hours, guided by the light of the full moon. As she ventured deeper, Avelini encountered a fox with fur as white as snow and eyes that sparkled like sapphires. "Greetings, young adventurer," the fox said. "I am Finn, guardian of the forest. I sense your noble quest to retrieve the heart of the forest. I will guide you, but you must prove your worthiness by solving 3 riddles." Avelini nodded, ready for the challenge. Finn's first riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Avelini thought for a moment before answering, "An echo." Finn nodded in approval. "Very good. The second riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" "Fire," Avelini replied confidently. "Correct," said Finn. "Now for the final riddle. I am seen in the water if seen in the sky. I am in the rainbow, a jay's feather, and lapis lazuli. What am I?" "Blue," Avelini answered. Finn smiled. "You are indeed worthy. Follow me." The fox led Avelini through winding paths and hidden trails until they reached a dark cave, where Morgana resided. As they approached the cave, Morgana appeared, her eyes glowing with malice. "So, a brave girl comes to steal my prize," she hissed. "You cannot defeat me." Avelini stood tall. "I do not wish to fight. I only seek to restore balance and save my village. The heart of the forest does not belong to you." Morgana laughed, but before she could cast a spell, Finn darted forward, distracting her. Seizing the opportunity, Avelini knocked an arrow and aimed for the crystal hanging around Morgana's neck. With a deep breath, she released the arrow, striking the crystal and shattering its chain. The heart of the forest fell to the ground, and Avelini quickly retrieved it. Morgana screamed in rage, but as Avelini held the crystal high, its light filled the cave, driving the sorceress back. The forest responded to the crystal's power, and Morgana, unable to withstand its pure magic, vanished in a swirl of dark smoke. With the heart of the forest in hand, Avellini and Finn returned to the heart of the enchanted forest. There, they placed the crystal in its rightful place, and the forest immediately began to heal. The roots and vines withdrew from the village, and the balance was restored. Avellini returned to her village a hero. The villagers celebrated her bravery and wisdom, and her father and brother embraced her with tears of joy. The heart of the forest continued to protect the village, ensuring its prosperity for generations to come. And so, Avellini's tale became a cherished legend in Eldoria, a story of courage, kindness, and the magic of a brave heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where the moon was always full and cast a silver glow upon the world, there was a hidden kingdom known as Lunaria. Lunaria was a magical place where everything sparkled under the moonlight, and its people were blessed with eternal joy and prosperity. At the heart of Lunaria was a grand castle, and within its deepest chamber lay a mysterious door adorned with intricate moon-shaped carvings. This door had remained closed for centuries, for it was said that only the Moonlit Key could unlock it. The Moonlit Key was a legendary artifact said to possess the power to grant a single, profound wish to the kingdom. However, it had been lost many generations ago, and the door remained unopened, its secrets hidden from all. One day, a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra, who lived in a small village near Lunaria, overheard a tale about the Moonlit Key and the mysterious door. Determined to help her village, which had recently fallen on hard times, she decided to embark on a quest to find the Moonlit Key and unlock the secrets of the ancient door. The first challenge, the Forest of Whispers. Lyra's journey began in the Forest of Whispers, a magical woodland where the trees were said to whisper ancient secrets and tales. As she wandered through the forest, she encountered a wise old tree with bark that shimmered like silver. To pass through the Forest of Whispers, the tree said in a gentle, rustling voice, "You must solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses, mountains but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "A map." The wise old tree's bark glowed warmly, and it parted to reveal a hidden path. "Follow this path to reach the next challenge," the tree instructed. The second challenge, the River of Reflections. Lyra followed the path and soon arrived at the River of Reflections, a serene river with water so clear it mirrored the sky and the surrounding trees perfectly. The river was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled like moonlight. To cross the River of Reflections, the swan said softly, "You must answer this question. What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and you can play it but not touch it?" Lyra pondered the question and replied, "A piano." The swan's feathers glowed with approval, and it created a shimmering bridge of light across the river. Lyra crossed the river with a sense of accomplishment and hope. The third challenge, the Cavern of Echoes. On the other side of the river, Lyra discovered the Cavern of Echoes, a grand cave filled with sparkling crystals that cast mesmerizing patterns of light. At the entrance of the cavern stood a grand, ancient door covered in celestial symbols. A soothing voice echoed from within the cavern, "To unlock this door and find the Moonlit Key, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Lyra took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, "My deepest wish is to find the Moonlit Key and use its power to help my village, so that they can prosper and find joy again." The cavern's walls shimmered with a soft, silvery light, and the grand door slowly creaked open to reveal the Moonlit Key resting on a pedestal, glowing with a soft, magical light. The revelation, restoring the kingdom. With the Moonlit Key in hand, Lyra returned to Lunaria. She approached the mysterious door in the castle's deepest chamber and carefully inserted the key. As the door swung open, a brilliant light filled the room, revealing a magnificent treasure trove of ancient knowledge, magical artifacts, and wondrous gifts. The light from the open door spread throughout Lunaria, restoring its former glory and bringing prosperity and happiness to the land. The people of Lunaria rejoiced, their joy and gratitude filling the air. Lyra's village also benefited from the Moonlit Key's magic, with the land flourishing and the villagers finding renewed hope and joy. The tale of Lyra's quest became a cherished story, a symbol of bravery and the power of a pure heart. Under the radiant light of the moonlit quay, Lunaria and Lyra's village thrived, forever grateful for the courageous girl who had unlocked the door to their dreams and restored their happiness. In a land where rolling meadows met sparkling rivers and towering mountains, there was a village called Celestia. The village was renowned for its breathtaking skies, painted every day by an unseen artist who colored the clouds with stunning hues. No one knew who this artist was, but their work brought joy to all who saw it. The village was home to a young girl named Eloan, whose dreams were as vibrant as the skies she admired. Eloan loved to watch the clouds change colors at sunrise and sunset, and she often imagined herself as the artist behind the magical transformations. One afternoon, while exploring the edge of the forest, Eloan stumbled upon an old, dusty book half buried under a pile of leaves. She picked it up and brushed off the dirt, revealing a cover adorned with intricate patterns and a shimmering title, The Secrets of the Cloud Painter. Excited, Eloan opened the book and began to read. The book spoke of a legendary cloud painter who used enchanted paintbrushes to create the most beautiful skies. The painter had vanished long ago, leaving only the magical brushes behind. According to the book, the brushes were hidden in the heart of the enchanted forest, guarded by a series of mystical challenges. Determined to uncover the truth, Eloan set out on a quest to find the enchanted brushes. She ventured into the enchanted forest, which was known for its magical creatures and mysterious paths. Her first challenge was to find the glowing brook, said to be the source of the magical paint used by the cloud painter. After hours of searching, Eloan stumbled upon a brook that shimmered with a soft, golden light. As she knelt by the water, she saw that the brook was filled with tiny, sparkling fish that seemed to dance in the light. A wise old turtle appeared from the depths and spoke to her. "To find what you seek, you must answer this question," the turtle said. "What is both a guide and a companion, always present but never seen?" Eloan thought for a moment and then answered, "A shadow." The turtle nodded and revealed a hidden path behind the brook. Eloan followed the path, which led her to a large, ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. Inside the tree was a cozy room filled with soft, glowing lanterns and shelves of beautiful paintbrushes. But only one brush was enchanted, the one with a handle made of shimmering silver and bristles that seemed to sparkle with every color of the rainbow. Eloan carefully picked up the enchanted brush and felt a rush of excitement. As she turned to leave, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. "You have found the first brush, but there are still 2 more challenges to overcome." Eloan was determined and continued her journey. The next challenge led her to the misty meadow, where she needed to find the luminous flower, which bloomed only in the light of the full moon. The meadow was filled with mist and ethereal light, and Eloan had to navigate through a maze of shimmering fog. At the heart of the meadow, Eloan found the luminous flower, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. As she approached, a beautiful fairy appeared and handed her a vial filled with moonlight. "Use this vial to reveal the true colors of the enchanted brush," the fairy said. "But remember, true beauty comes from the heart." With the vial in hand, Eloan made her way to the final challenge, the Summit of Stars. At the summit, she found a canvas stretched across a massive stone frame, waiting to be painted. The night sky above was filled with twinkling stars, and Eloan knew this was where she would use the enchanted brush. As she began to paint, the brush danced across the canvas, creating mesmerizing patterns and colors that mirrored the night sky. The moonlight from the vial infused the paint with a magical glow, and the canvas came to life with swirling constellations and vivid hues. Suddenly, a soft, warm light enveloped Eloan, and a figure appeared before her, a radiant spirit with a flowing robe and a crown of stars. The spirit was the cloud painter, who had been watching Eloan's journey. "You have shown great courage, creativity, and a pure heart," the spirit said. "The enchanted brushes are now yours to use. Paint the skies with your own unique colors and let your imagination soar." With the blessing of the cloud painter, Eloan returned to Celestia, her heart brimming with joy and excitement. She began to paint the skies, creating dazzling sunrises and breathtaking sunsets that captivated the villagers. Each day, the clouds took on new and magical forms, reflecting Alolan's boundless creativity. The villagers marveled at the ever-changing skies, and Alolan's art became a cherished part of Celestia's daily life. The village thrived under the radiant skies, and the story of Alolan's adventure and the magical brushes was told and retold through generations. And so, Alolan's dreams became a reality, and the skies of Celestia continued to sparkle with the colors of her imagination, reminding everyone that true magic is created with a heart full of wonder and creativity. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between misty mountains and sparkling rivers, there was a small village called Bramblewood. Bramblewood was known for its lush meadows and friendly people, but its most treasured possession was a legendary artifact, the Golden Compass. This magical compass was said to guide its bearer to their heart's true desire. For years, the Golden Compass had been kept in the village's ancient tower, guarded by a wise old keeper named Master Finn. The compass had always pointed true, guiding many villagers in their quests and adventures. But as time passed, its magic began to fade, and the compass's needle no longer moved with certainty. One day, a young and curious girl named Lyra arrived in Bramblewood. Lyra was known for her adventurous spirit and her love of stories. When she heard about the Golden Compass and its fading magic, she felt a strong urge to help. She believed that the compass's magic was tied to the dreams and wishes of the villagers, and she decided to seek out the source of the problem. Lyra approached Master Finn and asked, "How can I restore the magic of the Golden Compass?" Master Finn looked at her kindly. "The compass's power wanes because it has lost its connection to the dreams of those it has guided. To restore it, you must journey to the enchanted lake at the edge of the kingdom. There, you will find the Moonstone, which holds the key to renewing the compass's magic. But be wary, the journey is not without peril." Determined, Lyra set off on her quest. She traveled through dense forests and over rolling hills, guided by the last faint glimmer of the compass. Along her journey, she faced several challenges. First, Lyra encountered a deep chasm with no visible way across. As she pondered her predicament, she noticed a series of stepping stones appearing and disappearing in the chasm. By carefully timing her steps, she managed to cross safely. Next, she reached the Whispering Forest, where the trees seemed to whisper riddles and secrets. To navigate through the forest, Lyra had to solve a riddle posed by the trees. "I am taken from a mine, and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I?" Lyra thought hard and answered, "A pencil." The trees parted, revealing a path to the enchanted lake. As she arrived, she saw the Moonstone resting on a pedestal in the center of the lake. To reach it, she had to cross a series of floating lily pads. Each pad glowed softly, but some were unstable and would sink if she stepped on them. With careful balance and a steady heart, Lyra crossed the lily pads and reached the Moonstone. As she touched it, the stone began to glow brightly, and a shimmering bridge of light appeared, leading her back to the shore. Lyra returned to Bramblewood with the Moonstone, which she placed alongside the Golden Compass. As the Moonstone's light touched the compass, the needle began to spin with renewed energy, glowing with a warm, golden light. The compass's magic was restored, and it now pointed true with unwavering certainty. The villagers rejoiced, grateful to Lyra for her bravery and determination. They celebrated with a grand feast and honored Lyra with a special ceremony. Master Finn approached Lyra and said, "You have not only restored the compass's magic but also reminded us of the importance of dreams and hope. The Golden Compass will now guide future generations with its renewed power." As the festivities continued, Lyra felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had not only achieved her goal but had also learned the value of perseverance and the power of following one's heart. With a heart full of joy, Lyra bid farewell to the villagers and continued her adventures, carrying with her the lessons she had learned and the memories of her quest. The Golden Compass remained a cherished symbol of hope and guidance in Bramblewood, its magic forever intertwined with the dreams and aspirations of those who sought its wisdom. And so, Bramblewood flourished, guided by the Golden Compass and the spirit of adventure that Lyra had rekindled. The village thrived under the watchful glow of the compass, its light a beacon of hope for all who ventured forth. The tale of the moonlit meadow. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a serene village nestled in a lush valley surrounded by towering mountains. At the heart of this village was a mysterious meadow known as the Moonlit Meadow. It was said that on certain nights, when the moon was full and the stars sparkled brightly, the meadow would come alive with magical creatures and glowing flowers. In this village lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Eloan. Eloan had always been fascinated by the tales of the Moonlit Meadow. Her grandmother would tell her stories of the magical creatures that lived there and the wonder that unfolded when the moonlight touched the flowers. Eloan longed to see the meadow for herself, but it was said that only those with a true and selfless heart could witness its magic. One year, a terrible drought hit the village, leaving the fields parched and the wells dry. The villagers were worried, and Eloan, seeing the distress of her people, decided to venture into the moonlit meadow to seek its magic and save her village. The journey to the meadow one clear, starry night, Eloan set off towards the meadow, guided by the light of the full moon. She carried a small satchel with some bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. The path to the moonlit meadow was winding and overgrown, but Eloan was determined. As she walked, Eloan came across an ancient stone archway covered in ivy. An old, wise-looking tortoise was resting at the base of the archway. The tortoise looked up and said, "To enter the moonlit meadow, you must first answer my riddle. What has a heart that doesn't beat?" Eloan thought for a moment and answered, "An artichoke." The tortoise smiled and nodded, slowly moving aside to reveal a hidden path. Eloan continued her journey, her heart full of hope. The glowing forest. The path led Eloan through a forest where the trees seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. She soon encountered a beautiful, ethereal deer with silver antlers standing in her way. The deer spoke in a melodious voice, "To pass through the forest, you must solve this riddle. I have cities, but no houses, forests, but no trees, and rivers, but no water. What am I?" Eloan pondered and replied, "A map." The deer gracefully stepped aside, revealing a clear path lined with sparkling fireflies. Eloan followed the path, her excitement growing. The moonlit meadow. At last, Eloan arrived at the moonlit meadow. The sight was breathtaking. The meadow was bathed in the soft, silvery glow of the full moon, and the flowers glowed with a gentle, magical light. Tiny, luminous creatures flitted among the flowers, and the air was filled with a soothing, melodious hum. In the center of the meadow was a grand, ancient tree with shimmering leaves. Beneath the tree was a crystal-clear pool of water, and at its edge stood a small, glowing figure, a fairy with delicate wings. The fairy spoke softly, "To receive the magic of the moonlit meadow, you must make a wish with a heart full of love and selflessness." Eloan closed her eyes and made her wish, "I wish for my village to have abundant water and fertile fields, so that everyone may have enough to eat and live in peace." As she spoke, the fairy's wand glowed brightly, and a wave of shimmering light spread from the pool, flowing back towards Eloan's village. Eloan felt a warm, comforting breeze as the magic began to work. The return to the village. When Eloan returned to her village, she was greeted with astonished joy. The once dry fields were now lush and green, and the wells were brimming with water. The village thrived once more, and the people celebrated with a grand feast in Eloan's honor. The magic of the moonlit meadow had brought prosperity and hope to the village, and Eloan's bravery and kindness were celebrated far and wide. The tale of Eloan and the moonlit meadow became a cherished story, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that can be found in the world. And so, Eloan's village continued to flourish, forever blessed by the magic of the moonlit meadow in the heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far beyond the mountains, there was a village called Stardew, nestled in a valley where the sky seemed to touch the earth. The villagers lived simple, happy lives, tending to their crops and celebrating the beauty of nature. But the most extraordinary feature of Stardew was the Star Glade, a magical forest where stars would fall from the sky and transform into beautiful, glowing flowers. At the heart of the Star Glade, there stood an ancient oak tree, known as the Heart Tree, which was believed to be the source of all the magic in the valley. The heart tree was protected by a gentle but powerful guardian named Eldrin, a wise old elf who had watched over the glade for centuries. One peaceful night, a particularly bright star fell from the sky, landing gently at the base of the heart tree. As its light faded, the villagers gathered around, amazed to see a tiny, glowing child cradled in the roots of the tree. Eldrin approached the child and, sensing the magic within her, declared her to be a star child, destined for a great and important journey. The villagers named her Lyra, and she grew up with the love and care of the entire village. From an early age, Lyra displayed unique abilities. She could communicate with the animals, make plants grow with a touch, and even summon light to guide her through the dark. Eldrin became her mentor, teaching her about the magic of the glade and the importance of harmony with nature. One fateful evening, as Lyra celebrated her 12th birthday, a dark cloud loomed over Stardew. The villagers watched in fear as a figure emerged from the shadows, an ominous sorceress named Morwenna. Her eyes glowed with a sinister light, and her voice was as cold as the winter wind. "I have come for the heart tree," Morwenna declared. "With its power, I shall control all the magic of this land and plunge it into eternal darkness." Eldrin stepped forward, his staff glowing with protective magic. "You will not harm the heart tree, Morwenna. This land thrives on its light." Morwenna laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the valley. "We shall see, old elf. But know this, I will return with an army to claim what is mine." With a flick of her cloak, Morwenna vanished into the night, leaving the villagers in fear and uncertainty. Eldrin knew that Morwenna's threat was not idle. They had to protect the heart tree, but they also needed a way to counter Morwenna's dark magic. Lyra, brave and determined, stepped forward. "I will find a way to save the heart tree and our home. There must be something in the star glade that can help us." Eldrin nodded, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Your heart is pure, Lyra. Trust in the magic within you and the wisdom of the forest." With Eldrin's blessing, Lyra ventured into the depths of the star glade. She traveled through enchanted groves and crossed shimmering streams, guided by the light of the stars. Along the way, she met many creatures who offered their help: a wise old owl named Sage, a mischievous fox named Rusty, and a gentle deer named Fawn. Together, they journeyed to the heart of the glade, where Lyra discovered an ancient scroll hidden in a hollow tree. The scroll contained a prophecy: when darkness threatens the heart of light, a star child born of heaven's flight must seek the crystal of dawn's embrace, to vanquish shadow and darkness erase. Sage, who could read the ancient language, explained that the crystal of dawn's embrace was a powerful artifact hidden in the crystal caves, located at the peak of the tallest mountain in the valley. It was said to have the power to dispel any dark magic. Determined to save her home, Lyra and her animal friends set off on the arduous journey to the crystal caves. They climbed steep cliffs, braved icy winds, and faced many challenges. Along the way, Lyra's courage and kindness won the hearts of many creatures, who joined her cause. After many days, they finally reached the crystal caves. Inside, the walls sparkled with countless crystals, casting a mesmerizing light. At the center of the cave, on a pedestal of pure quartz, lay the crystal of dawn's embrace. Its light was warm and soothing, filling Lyra with hope. As she reached out to take the crystal, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was Morwenna, who had followed them to the cave. "You cannot escape me, little star child," she hissed. "The heart tree's power will be mine." Lyra stood her ground, holding the crystal tightly. "I will not let you harm my home, Morwenna." Morwenna's eyes blazed with anger as she unleashed a bolt of dark magic. But Lyra, with the crystal of dawn's embrace in her hands, summoned a shield of pure light, deflecting the attack. The crystal's power surged through her, and she felt an ancient, celestial strength within her. With a shout of defiance, Lyra directed the crystal's light toward Morwenna, enveloping her in its radiant glow. The sorceress screamed as the light dispelled her dark magic, and in a flash, she was gone, banished from the land forever. Lyra and her friends returned to Stardew, the crystal of dawn's embrace glowing brightly in her hands. The villagers rejoiced, and Eldrin welcomed her back with open arms. Lyra placed the crystal at the base of the heart tree, its light merging with the tree's magic, strengthening the bond between the land and the stars. From that day forward, Lyra was known as the guardian of the glade. She continued to protect and nurture the magic of the star glade, ensuring that the light of the heart tree would shine brightly for generations to come. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, the kingdom of Eldoria flourished, forever grateful to the brave star child who saved them all. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the magical realm of Viridia, there was a quaint village named Inkwell, famous for its scholars and scribes. The village was nestled at the foot of the Misty Mountains, where legends spoke of hidden treasures and enchanted artifacts. Among the villagers was a young girl named Lyra, who dreamed of becoming the greatest storyteller in all of Viridia. Lyra lived with her father, a humble scribe who taught her to read and write. Despite their modest means, Lyra's father always encouraged her to follow her dreams. He often told her tales of the enchanted quill, a magical quill said to have the power to bring stories to life. According to legend, the quill was hidden in the heart of the Misty Mountains, guarded by ancient enchantments and mythical creatures. One crisp autumn morning, as Lyra was helping her father organize his manuscripts, a mysterious traveler arrived in Inkwell. He was an old man with a long, flowing beard and eyes that twinkled with wisdom. He introduced himself as Orion, a wandering sage, and spoke of a great prophecy. A young scribe with a heart full of stories will find the enchanted quill and use its magic to save Viridia. Lyra's heart raced with excitement. She knew that she was the one destined to find the quill. With her father's blessing and Orion's guidance, Lyra set out on her journey, determined to uncover the legendary artifact. As she entered the Misty Mountains, Lyra encountered her first challenge, a dense, enchanted forest that seemed to have no end. The trees whispered secrets, and the path ahead was shrouded in fog. Remembering her father's lessons, Lyra took out her journal and began to write a story about a brave girl who could see through the fog with the light of her heart. As she wrote, her words came to life, and the fog lifted, revealing a clear path. Lyra continued her journey until she reached a rushing river, its waters too wild to cross. On the riverbank sat a wise old tortoise named Terran, who greeted her with a knowing smile. "To cross the river, you must answer a riddle," he said. "What is always in front of you but cannot be seen?" Lyra thought for a moment, then replied, "The future." Terran nodded in approval and revealed a hidden bridge that allowed Lyra to cross the river safely. On the other side, Lyra found herself at the entrance of a dark, winding cave. The cave was said to be the home of Nox, a fearsome dragon who guarded the enchanted quill. Summoning all her courage, Lyra ventured into the cave, where she was met by Nox's fiery breath and piercing eyes. "Why do you seek the enchanted quill?" Nox demanded, his voice echoing through the cavern. Lyra stood tall and replied, "I seek the quill to bring my stories to life and to save Viridia from the darkness that threatens it. My heart is pure, and my intentions are true." Nox studied her for a moment before nodding. "You have the heart of a true storyteller," he said. "But to claim the quill, you must pass one final test. Write a story that will touch my heart and prove your worthiness." Lyra sat down and, with trembling hands, began to write. She wrote about a lonely dragon who longed for friendship and a brave girl who saw the goodness within him. As she wrote, her words shimmered with magic, and the story unfolded before Nox's eyes. Tears glistened in Nox's eyes as he read her tale. "You have touched my heart, Lyra," he said. "The enchanted quill is yours." Nox led her to a hidden chamber deep within the cave, where the enchanted quill rested on a pedestal of crystal. The quill was more beautiful than Lyra had ever imagined, its feathers glimmering with a magical light. She took the quill with reverence, feeling its power coursing through her. With the enchanted quill in hand, Lyra returned to Inkwell, where she was greeted with joy and celebration. Using the quill's magic, she wrote stories that brought hope and happiness to the people of Viridia. Her tales of bravery, kindness, and friendship came to life, transforming the kingdom and banishing the darkness that had threatened it. Lyra's father watched with pride as his daughter's dreams came true. And Orion, the wandering sage, smiled, knowing that the prophecy had been fulfilled. From that day on, Lyra was known as the greatest storyteller in all of Viridia. The enchanted quill remained a symbol of the magic that lies within every heart and the power of stories to change the world. And so, the kingdom of Viridia lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the young girl who used her words to weave a brighter future. The end. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains and across the crystal blue seas, there was a prosperous kingdom named Everwyn. This kingdom was known for its magnificent castles, flourishing gardens, and the joyous laughter of its people. But its most prized possession was the golden rose, a magical flower that bloomed in the royal garden and kept the land fertile and prosperous. One day, a dark sorcerer named Malgur, jealous of Everwyn's beauty and happiness, cast a dreadful spell over the kingdom. The golden rose withered, the skies turned gray, and a perpetual winter descended upon the land. Crops failed, and the once happy people of Everwyn began to lose hope. In a small cottage at the edge of the kingdom lived a humble tailor named Finn. Finn was known for his exceptional skill with a needle and thread, but more importantly, for his kind heart and unwavering spirit. As the kingdom fell into despair, Finn couldn't bear to see his friends and neighbors suffer. One evening, as Finn sat by his fireplace, he heard a faint, sorrowful whisper. It was the voice of the golden rose, calling out for help. "Brave Finn," it whispered, "only you can break Malgur's curse and restore Everwyn. You must find the crystal of light hidden in the forgotten forest and use its power to revive me." Determined to save his kingdom, Finn packed his belongings, including a sturdy needle, some thread, and his warmest cloak. He set out at dawn, his heart filled with resolve. As he journeyed through the snow-covered land, he encountered various challenges. The once friendly forest was now dark and eerie, filled with twisted trees and hidden dangers. After several days of arduous travel, Finn reached the edge of the forgotten forest. The trees here were ancient, their gnarled branches covered in thick layers of ice. The path was difficult to follow, and a bitter wind howled through the trees. But Finn pressed on, driven by the hope of saving his kingdom. Deep within the forest, Finn stumbled upon a wounded fox. Its paw was caught in a cruel trap set by the sorcerer's minions. Without hesitation, Finn used his needle and thread to carefully mend the fox's wound and free it from the trap. The grateful fox, named Reyna, offered to guide him through the treacherous forest. With Reyna's help, Finn navigated the forest's many dangers, from enchanted thorns to hidden pitfalls. They finally arrived at a crystal-clear lake that shimmered with an ethereal light. In the center of the lake stood a small island, and upon it, a crystal that glowed with a pure, radiant light. But guarding the island was a formidable ice dragon, its scales glistening like diamonds. The dragon roared, its icy breath freezing the air. Finn, though trembling with fear, stepped forward. "Great dragon," he called out, "I seek the crystal of light to save my kingdom. Please, allow me to take it." The dragon, sensing Finn's pure heart and bravery, lowered its head. "You have shown kindness to those in need, and your courage is true. You may take the crystal," the dragon said in a deep, rumbling voice. Finn carefully waded through the shallow water to the island and took the crystal of light in his hands. Its warmth spread through him, filling him with hope and strength. With the crystal in his possession, he and Reyna hurried back to Everwyn. Upon his return, Finn went straight to the royal garden. The withered golden rose lay in the center, surrounded by frost. He placed the crystal of light next to the rose, and its magic began to work. Slowly, the frost melted, the rose's petals unfurled, and the garden began to bloom once more. The skies cleared, the sun shone brightly, and the harsh winter that had gripped Everwyn disappeared. The people of Everwyn, seeing the miracle, rejoiced. King Cedric and Queen Elena, who had also been under Malgur's spell, awakened and regained their strength. Malgur, seeing his curse broken, tried to unleash his wrath upon Everwyn. But the golden rose, now fully revived, created a shield of light around the kingdom, repelling the sorcerer's dark magic. Defeated and powerless, Malgur fled, never to be seen again. King Cedric and Queen Elena declared a grand celebration in honor of Finn's bravery and selflessness. They offered him a place of high honor in the court, but Finn, humble as always, chose to return to his cottage and continue his work as a tailor. The people of Everwin, forever grateful, often visited Finn's shop, seeking his expert craftsmanship and sharing stories of his heroism. The kingdom flourished once more, with the golden rose shining brightly in the royal garden, a symbol of hope and resilience. And so, Finn the brave tailor lived a long and happy life, his heart always filled with the joy of knowing he had saved his beloved kingdom. The tale of his courage and kindness was passed down through generations, a reminder that even the humblest of us can achieve great things with a pure heart and a steadfast spirit. And they all lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. In a peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was an ancient tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was special. It could speak in a gentle, rustling voice that only the kind-hearted could hear. Its leaves shimmered with a magical glow, and it was said that the willow could grant a single wish to someone truly brave and pure of heart. In the village lived a small, lively squirrel named Nutmeg. Nutmeg was known for her curious nature and her big, bright eyes. She loved exploring the forest and discovering new things. One day, while playing near the Whispering Willow, Nutmeg overheard a conversation among the village animals. They spoke of a dark shadow that had recently fallen over the village, causing crops to wither and making the river flow sluggishly. Nutmeg's heart was filled with concern. She loved her home and wanted to help. The animals talked about the Whispering Willow's magic, and Nutmeg decided that if anyone could save the village, it was the ancient tree. So, with a determined heart, she scampered up to the willow. "Hello, Whispering Willow," Nutmeg said softly. "I heard about the darkness that's affecting our village. Can you help us?" The willow's leaves rustled gently, and a soft voice replied, "To bring light back to the village, you must undertake a quest. You need to find 3 magical items: the Crystal of Dawn, the Feather of Hope, and the Heartstone." Nutmeg's eyes sparkled with determination. "I will find these items and save our village." The willow rustled approvingly and told Nutmeg where to find each item. With a brave heart and a small pouch for collecting the magical items, Nutmeg set off on her quest. First, she journeyed to the Misty Mountains, where the Crystal of Dawn was hidden in a cave guarded by a clever dragon. As Nutmeg approached the cave, she heard the dragon's voice booming inside. "Who dares to enter my cave?" the dragon roared. Nutmeg, though a bit frightened, stepped forward. "I am Nutmeg, a squirrel from the village. I need the Crystal of Dawn to help my home." The dragon, whose name was Ember, appeared at the entrance. "To prove your worth, you must answer my riddle. What is always in front of you but can never be seen?" Nutmeg thought hard and then smiled. "The future." Ember's eyes glowed with approval. "You have answered correctly. The Crystal of Dawn is yours." Nutmeg thanked Ember and carefully placed the crystal in her pouch. With one item secured, she continued her journey. Next, Nutmeg traveled to the enchanted forest, where the Feather of Hope was hidden in the highest branch of a magnificent tree. To reach it, she needed to cross a wide, sparkling river. As Nutmeg pondered how to cross, a friendly otter named Ollie appeared. "I can help you cross the river," Ollie offered. "But first, tell me why you seek the Feather of Hope." Nutmeg explained her quest, and Ollie, moved by her bravery, used his knowledge of the river to build a small raft. Together, they crossed the river, and Nutmeg climbed the tree to retrieve the Feather of Hope, which glowed warmly in her paws. With the feather in her pouch, Nutmeg thanked Ollie and set off for her final destination, the Crystal Caves, where the Heartstone was said to be hidden. The caves were dark and winding, but Nutmeg pressed on with courage. Inside the deepest part of the cave, she found a glistening stone that pulsed with a gentle, rhythmic glow. But guarding the Heartstone was a fierce-looking goblin. "To take the Heartstone, you must show me a pure heart," the goblin said. Nutmeg, though nervous, spoke from her heart. "I am on a quest to help my village. I'm doing this because I love my home and want to see it thrive again." The goblin's stern expression softened. "You have a pure heart indeed. The Heartstone is yours." Nutmeg took the Heartstone, feeling a warm, comforting glow. With all 3 magical items in her pouch, she made her way back to the Whispering Willow. Upon returning, Nutmeg placed the Crystal of Dawn, the Feather of Hope, and the Heartstone at the base of the willow. The tree's leaves rustled with excitement, and a brilliant light filled the air. The darkness lifted from the village, and the crops began to grow again. The river flowed freely, sparkling in the sunlight. The village animals cheered and celebrated Nutmeg's bravery. The Whispering Willow's voice whispered, "Nutmeg, you have saved your village with your courage and kindness. May your heart always guide you." From that day on, Nutmeg was known as a hero in the village. The Whispering Willow's magic continued to protect and bless the land, and Nutmeg's bravery was remembered by all. And so, Nutmeg lived happily in her village, always ready for new adventures and eager to help those in need. The village thrived under the light of the Whispering Willow, and Nutmeg's heart remained a beacon of hope for everyone. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley bordered by towering mountains, lay a village named Eldoria. Eldoria was known for its beautiful gardens and friendly inhabitants, but most of all, it was renowned for the legendary silver tree that stood in the heart of the village. The silver tree was said to be enchanted, its leaves shimmering like silver in the sunlight and its branches humming a soothing, magical song at dusk. The villagers believed that the silver tree had been planted by the ancient forest spirits and that its song brought peace and prosperity to Eldoria. Each year, during the Moon Festival, the villagers gathered around the tree to listen to its melodious tune and celebrate their good fortune. One day, as the Moon Festival approached, a dark cloud seemed to settle over the village. The silver tree's song had grown faint, and its once sparkling leaves had lost their luster. The villagers were deeply troubled, for they knew that if the tree's song faded completely, their prosperity and happiness would be at risk. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elara. She was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for the village's traditions. Determined to save the silver tree, Elara decided to embark on a quest to discover the source of the problem. Elara approached the village elder, a wise woman named Grandmother Leora. "Grandmother Leora, what can I do to restore the silver tree's song?" Elara asked. Grandmother Leora sighed. "The silver tree's song is tied to an ancient enchantment. It is said that the heart of the tree, a magical crystal known as the Moonstone, has been taken. To restore its song, you must journey to the Shadow Peaks and retrieve the Moonstone." With a resolute heart, Elara set off on her quest. The Shadow Peaks were a range of mountains known for their rugged terrain and mysterious legends. Armed with a map, a sturdy staff, and a small bag of provisions, Elara began her climb. As she ascended the mountains, she faced several challenges. The first was a deep chasm with no visible bridge. As she pondered her way across, she noticed a series of stepping stones made of shimmering stone appearing and disappearing across the chasm. Summoning her courage, Elara timed her jumps carefully and made her way across safely. Her next challenge was to navigate through the Whispering Caves, a labyrinthine network of tunnels filled with confusing echoes. In the cave, a mischievous voice spoke to her. "To find the right path, you must answer this: what has a heart that doesn't beat?" Elara thought deeply and then answered, "An artichoke." The voice chuckled and the path ahead cleared, leading Elara to a hidden chamber. There, she found a small, silver chest guarded by a gentle dragon with sparkling scales. "You seek the Moonstone," the dragon said with a warm voice. "It is in this chest, but to retrieve it, you must prove your bravery and kindness." The dragon set 3 tasks for Elara. 1. Find a healing herb. Elara ventured into the nearby forest and found a rare herb that could heal a wounded creature. She used it to mend the wing of a small, injured bird. 2. Solve the riddle of the stars. The dragon presented a constellation map with a riddle about the stars. Elara solved it by aligning the stars correctly, revealing the hidden path. 3. Show compassion. Elara encountered a band of lost mountain goats who needed help finding their way home. She guided them safely back to their herd. Having completed the tasks, the dragon opened the chest and handed Elara the Moonstone. It glowed with a soft, silver light, pulsating with the same energy as the silver tree's lost psalm. With the moonstone in her possession, Elara made her way back to Eldoria. As she approached the village, she saw the silver tree's branches drooping and the leaves dull. She placed the moonstone at the base of the tree, and a brilliant light erupted, restoring the tree's shimmering leaves and filling the air with its melodious song. The village erupted in joyous celebration as the silver tree's song rang out stronger and more beautiful than ever before. The villagers praised Elara for her bravery and kindness, and the Moon Festival was celebrated with renewed fervor. Elara's adventure became a cherished story in Eldoria, a tale of courage and the power of a pure heart. The silver tree continued to thrive, its song a reminder of the harmony between the village and the magical forest that surrounded it. And so, the village of Eldoria lived in happiness and prosperity, forever enchanted by the song of the silver tree and the brave girl who restored its magic. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled at the edge of a great forest, there stood an ancient willow tree known for its enchanting whispers. The villagers spoke of its magical powers, though few had ever seen them for themselves. The tree was said to grant a single wish to anyone pure of heart who could solve its riddle. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. She had a special bond with nature and spent many afternoons sitting under the willow, sharing her dreams and secrets. One day, a great sorrow befell the village. A terrible drought had withered the crops and dried up the wells, leaving the villagers without food or water. Desperate, they turned to Elara, hoping she might find a solution. Remembering the tales of the willow's magic, Elara decided to seek its help. Early one morning, she made her way to the tree, carrying with her a basket of wildflowers and a small bottle of spring water. As she approached, the willow's long branches seemed to reach out as if welcoming her. "Elara," the willow's voice murmured, "you have come to me with hope in your heart. But to receive my help, you must solve my riddle." Elara, though nervous, nodded. "I'm ready," she said. The willow's branches rustled, and a soft, melodic voice spoke, "In the heart of the forest, beneath the moon's soft glow, lies the answer you seek where the wildflowers grow. A secret is hidden, a mystery to unfold. Find the magic within, and the story will be told." Elara pondered the riddle. She knew the forest well and had always admired its beauty, but she had never thought of it as a place of hidden secrets. Determined to help her village, she set off on a quest to unravel the willow's riddle. As the sun began to set, casting a golden light through the trees, Elara ventured deeper into the forest. She followed the path she had often walked, but this time she looked with new eyes, searching for something she might have missed before. Just as the moon began to rise, Elara stumbled upon a clearing she had never seen. In the center of the clearing was a ring of vibrant wildflowers, their colors shimmering under the moonlight. Elara approached cautiously, her heart pounding with excitement. In the middle of the ring, she saw a small stone pedestal with an ancient inscription. The inscription read, "To find the magic, you must give what you cherish most. Only then will the secret be revealed." Elara took a deep breath and thought of what she cherished most. It wasn't a tangible object, but rather the love and hope she held for her village and its people. With this in mind, she placed her hand on her heart and whispered a heartfelt wish for the well-being of her village. As she did so, a soft glow began to emanate from the pedestal. The glow grew brighter, enveloping the wildflowers and the clearing in a warm, comforting light. Suddenly, the ground beneath the pedestal began to shimmer, and a hidden spring emerged, its waters clear and sparkling. Elara rushed back to the village, her heart full of hope. She led the villagers to the spring, and their joy was overwhelming. The water was pure and plentiful, and it soon revived the parched land, bringing life back to the crops and wells. The village prospered once more, and the people celebrated with a grand feast, giving thanks to Elara and the enchanted willow. They learned that the magic of the willow was not just in the granting of wishes, but in the purity of heart and selfless love that had unlocked its secrets. From that day on, the willow tree continued to stand as a symbol of hope and magic, and Elara's story was told for generations as a reminder that the greatest magic comes from the love and kindness within our hearts. And so, the village thrived in harmony with the forest, forever grateful for the enchanted willow that had taught them the true power of a pure heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by lush green hills, there lived a young girl named May. May was a talented artist who loved to paint. She would spend hours every day, creating beautiful pictures of the world around her. Her family was poor, so she could only paint using old scraps of paper and a few colors she had made from crushed flowers and berries. But despite these humble materials, her paintings were full of life and beauty. May's greatest wish was to have a real paintbrush and proper paints. She dreamed of creating even more vivid and detailed pictures, ones that could bring joy to her entire village. However, she knew her family could not afford such things, so she kept her dream close to her heart. One day, as May was walking home from the market, she saw an old man sitting by the side of the road. He was dressed in tattered clothes, and his hair was as white as snow. Despite his appearance, his eyes sparkled with kindness. May, being the kind-hearted girl she was, approached him and offered him a small loaf of bread she had saved from her lunch. "Thank you, dear child," the old man said, his voice gentle. "You have a generous heart. In return for your kindness, I would like to give you a gift." From beneath his robes, the old man pulled out a paintbrush. It was unlike any brush May had ever seen. The handle was made of fine wood, polished smooth, and the bristles glowed with a soft, golden light. "This is a special paintbrush," the old man explained. "It has the power to bring whatever you paint to life. But remember, you must use it wisely and only for good." May's eyes widened in amazement as she took the paintbrush from the old man. "Thank you," she exclaimed, overwhelmed with gratitude. With the enchanted paintbrush in her hand, May rushed home, eager to try it out. She found a piece of paper and, with a deep breath, began to paint. She started with something simple, a bowl of fresh, ripe fruit. As soon as she finished the last stroke, something incredible happened. The fruit in the painting shimmered and then, right before her eyes, it became real. The bowl of fruit appeared on the table, just as if it had always been there. May gasped in delight and disbelief. The old man had spoken the truth, whatever she painted would come to life. Excited by her new gift, May began to paint more things that her family needed. She painted a warm blanket for her mother, a sturdy pair of shoes for her father, and even a little wooden toy for her younger brother. Each painting came to life, and soon her family's small home was filled with all the things they had always wanted but could never afford. But May did not stop there. She knew that her village was poor, and many people struggled to get by. So she decided to use her paintbrush to help others as well. She painted bags of rice and vegetables for her neighbors, who were always short on food. She painted clothes for the children who had none. She even painted a well in the village square, so everyone could have fresh, clean water to drink. Word of May's magical paintbrush quickly spread throughout the village, and people came from far and wide to see her. They marveled at the gifts she had created, and they were grateful for her kindness. The village, which had once been filled with hardship, was now a place of abundance and joy, all thanks to May and her enchanted paintbrush. However, not everyone was happy about May's good deeds. There was a greedy and cruel landlord who lived in a grand house on the hill overlooking the village. When he heard about the magical paintbrush, he was filled with envy. He wanted the paintbrush for himself, so he could use its power to grow even richer. One night, the landlord sent his servants to May's house to steal the paintbrush. They crept in while she was asleep and took it from her bedside table. When May woke up the next morning and saw that her paintbrush was gone, she was heartbroken. Meanwhile, the landlord began using the paintbrush for his own selfish desires. He painted chests full of gold and jewels, grand feasts with the finest foods, and magnificent palaces for himself. But because his heart was filled with greed, the things he painted did not bring him happiness. The gold turned to dust, the food spoiled, and the palaces crumbled to the ground. In desperation, the landlord sought out May. He demanded that she teach him how to use the paintbrush properly so that he could get what he wanted. May, who was wise beyond her years, knew that the paintbrush's magic could only work for good. She agreed to help the landlord, But she had a plan. She asked him what he desired most. "I want a palace greater than any other," the landlord said, "a palace that will last forever and make me the most powerful man in the land." May nodded and asked for the paintbrush. The landlord handed it to her eagerly, thinking he was about to get his wish. May began to paint, but instead of a palace, she painted a great mountain, tall and steep, with the landlord standing on top. As soon as she finished the painting, the mountain became real, just like all her other creations. The landlord found himself standing on top of a towering mountain, far away from his riches and his lands. He cried out in anger, but it was too late. The mountain was so tall and steep that there was no way for him to climb down. May took back her paintbrush and returned to the village, where she was greeted with cheers and gratitude. The village thrived under her care, and the people lived happily, knowing that May would always use her gift to help those in need. As for the landlord, he remained on top of the mountain, where he had plenty of time to think about his greed and the harm it had caused. And while he was there, the villagers lived peacefully and prosperously, their lives forever changed by the kind heart and magic of the little girl named May. And so, the village was filled with joy and color, and May's name was remembered for generations as the girl who used her gift to bring goodness and light to the world. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers sang sweet melodies, there was a quaint village called Eldergrove. Eldergrove was nestled in a lush valley, surrounded by towering trees and blooming meadows. It was a peaceful place where magic was as common as wildflowers, but it was the village's greatest secret that made it truly special, an enchanted lantern. This lantern wasn't just an ordinary light, it had the power to grant one wish to anyone pure of heart who discovered its magic. It had been hidden away in the village for centuries, waiting for the right person to find it. The story of the lantern began with a young girl named Lila. Lila was known throughout Eldergrove for her kindness and bravery. One day, as she explored the forest near her village, she stumbled upon an ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Curiosity twinkling in her eyes, Lila reached inside and pulled out a dusty, ornate lantern. The lantern was beautiful but covered in cobwebs and dust. As she wiped it clean, a soft glow began to emanate from it. Lila's heart leapt with excitement, for she had heard the legends of the magical lantern but never truly believed they were real. The next morning, Lila returned to the forest to consult with the village elder, wise old Grandma Agnes. She had seen many things in her lifetime and knew the stories well. Grandma Agnes's eyes widened when she saw the lantern. "This is the fabled lantern of Eldergrove," she said, her voice trembling with awe. "It is said to grant a single wish to someone who is truly pure of heart." Lila's mind raced with possibilities. She thought of wishing for endless wealth or power, but those thoughts felt hollow compared to the warmth she felt when helping others. She knew her wish had to be something that would benefit not just her but the entire village. As she walked through Eldergrove, she saw the villagers facing various troubles. The crops had failed due to a recent drought, and the well that supplied water was almost dry. The villagers were disheartened, and their once vibrant community seemed to be losing hope. Lila knew what she had to do. That night, she gathered the villagers and explained her plan. With their support, she made her wish. Holding the lantern high, she said, "I wish for Eldergrove to be blessed with abundant water, so our crops can grow, our wells can fill, and our village can thrive once more." The lantern glowed brightly, and a gentle breeze swirled around them, carrying with it the soothing scent of rain. The next morning, the skies opened up, and a soft, steady rain began to fall. The villagers cheered with joy as the dry earth soaked up the much-needed water. The crops began to recover, and the well filled to the brim. As days turned into weeks, Eldergrove flourished like never before. The once dying crops were now thriving, and the village returned to its vibrant, joyous self. Lila's selfless wish had not only restored the village but also strengthened the bonds between the villagers. One evening, as Lila walked through the meadow, she saw a small, golden light fluttering in the air. It was the spirit of the lantern, now free of its duties. The spirit spoke to her in a gentle, melodious voice, "Thank you, Lila. Your pure heart and selfless wish have brought joy to Eldergrove." Though the lantern's magic is now fulfilled, the true magic lies in the kindness you've shown." With that, the spirit faded into the twilight, leaving behind a gentle, warm glow that bathed the village in a serene light. From that day on, the lantern was kept in the village square as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that lives within every kind heart. And so, Eldergrove thrived, not just from the blessings of a magical lantern but from the love and care of its people. As for Lila, she continued to help her village with the same kindness and bravery that had guided her to her greatest adventure. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a girl named Luna. Luna was unlike any other child in the village, for she was born with a unique gift: she could speak to the stars. Every night, she would climb to the highest hill, lie on the soft grass, and gaze at the twinkling sky, whispering her secrets and dreams to the stars. They would respond with gentle glimmers and soothing whispers, guiding her with their wisdom. One evening, as Luna lay under the night sky, she noticed a particularly bright star shining directly above her. This star was larger and more radiant than any she had ever seen. Curious, she whispered, "Why do you shine so brightly tonight, dear star?" The star flickered and responded, "I am Stella, the star of wishes. I have come to seek your help, Luna. The Night Queen has captured my sister, Nova, the star of dreams, and without her, the balance between night and day is in jeopardy. Only a pure heart like yours can rescue her." Luna's heart swelled with determination. "Tell me what I must do, Stella." "You must journey to the Castle of Shadows, where the Night Queen dwells," Stella replied. "It is a dangerous path, but you will find allies along the way. Take this star crystal, it will light your way and protect you from harm." The next morning, Luna set off on her quest, carrying the glowing star crystal. She ventured through the dense forest, where the trees whispered secrets of ancient times. As she walked, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion, who perched high in the branches. "Where are you headed, young one?" Orion hooted. "I am on a quest to save Nova, the star of dreams, from the Night Queen," Luna explained. Orion's eyes glowed with understanding. "I will guide you through the forest. Follow me, and beware of the Night Queen's minions." With Orion leading the way, Luna navigated the forest's treacherous paths, avoiding traps and outsmarting mischievous creatures. When they reached the edge of the forest, they found a vast, shimmering lake. In the center of the lake was an island with a towering castle, the Castle of Shadows. As Luna stood by the lake's edge, wondering how to reach the island, a gentle voice called out from the water. "I am Aquila, the water nymph. I can help you cross the lake, but first, you must solve my riddle: what is always in front of you but can't be seen?" Luna thought for a moment and then replied, "The future." Aquila smiled and nodded. "Correct, brave Luna. Climb onto my back, and I will take you to the castle." With Aquila's help, Luna crossed the lake and reached the island. As she approached the Castle of Shadows, she felt a chill in the air. The castle's tall spires loomed ominously against the darkening sky. Inside the castle, the halls were filled with eerie shadows that seemed to move and whisper. Luna held the star crystal tightly, its light cutting through the darkness. She made her way to the throne room, where she found the Night Queen, a tall and regal figure shrouded in a cloak of midnight. The Night Queen's eyes gleamed as she saw Luna. "So, you are the one who dares to challenge me?" "I have come to rescue Nova and restore the balance between night and day," Luna declared bravely. The Night Queen laughed, a sound like ice cracking. "You think a mere child can defeat me? Very well, let us see if you are worthy." With a wave of her hand, the Night Queen conjured a swirling vortex of shadows. Luna's heart pounded, but she held the star crystal high. Its light grew brighter, pushing back the shadows. "Your darkness cannot defeat the light of the stars," Luna said, her voice steady. The Night Queen's expression faltered, and for a moment, doubt flickered in her eyes. Using this moment of weakness, Luna focused all her strength on the star crystal. A beam of light shot from the crystal, enveloping the Night Queen in a blinding radiance. With a cry, the Night Queen vanished, and the shadows in the castle dissolved. In the center of the throne room, a delicate star began to glow. It was Nova, the star of dreams, finally free from her captivity. "Thank you, brave Luna," Nova whispered, her light gentle and warm. "You have saved me and restored the balance." As a reward for her courage, Nova granted Luna a special gift, the ability to visit the stars whenever she wished. Luna returned to her village a hero, her heart filled with the wisdom and wonder of her journey. From that day on, Luna would often climb the highest hill, lie on the soft grass, and gaze at the twinkling sky. She knew that no matter where her adventures took her, she would always be guided by the stars, her eternal friends. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, Luna and her village lived happily ever after, their nights filled with dreams and their days with hope. The end. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Greenvale, there was a small, serene brook that wound its way through the forest. The brook was known as the Whispering Brook because, on quiet nights, its waters would carry soft, melodic whispers that told stories and secrets from the past. The villagers revered the brook and believed it held ancient wisdom. However, as the years passed, the whispers grew fainter, and the brook began to dry up. The once crystal-clear waters became murky, and the villagers feared that they were losing a cherished part of their heritage. Among the villagers was a kind and adventurous girl named Elara. She had always been enchanted by the whispers of the brook and felt a deep connection to it. Determined to restore the brook to its former glory, Elara decided to embark on a quest to uncover the source of the whispers and revive its magic. One evening, guided by the soft glow of the setting sun, Elara followed the brook upstream into the heart of the forest. She came across a hidden grove where the trees seemed to hum with a faint, magical resonance. At the center of the grove was an ancient stone pedestal with an intricately carved inscription, "To restore the whispers, seek the heart of the forest." Elara looked around and spotted a small, luminescent flower growing near the pedestal. As she touched the flower, a gentle, shimmering light enveloped the grove, and a wise old creature appeared. It was a gentle fawn with eyes that sparkled like stars. "Greetings, Elara," the fawn said in a melodious voice. "I am Nym, the guardian of the heart of the forest. To find the heart and restore the whispers, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Elara nodded, ready to take on the challenges. Nym led her to the first task, the trial of courage. She had to cross the misty gorge, a deep chasm shrouded in thick fog. The only way across was a fragile-looking bridge made of vines and twigs. Elara took a deep breath and carefully made her way across the bridge, her heart steady and her steps sure. The bridge held firm, and she reached the other side safely. The second task was the trial of kindness. Elara found a group of lost fireflies flitting helplessly in the dark. Their light was dim, and they were unable to find their way back to their home. Elara gently gathered the fireflies in her hands and used her kindness to soothe them. She sang a soft lullaby, and as her warm, caring presence filled the air, the fireflies regained their strength and guided her to the next challenge. The final task was the trial of wisdom. Nym led Elara to a glimmering pool in the heart of the forest, where a golden key lay submerged beneath the water. To retrieve it, Elara had to solve a riddle posed by the pool's reflection. The riddle was, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and realized the answer was fire. She spoke the answer aloud, and the golden key floated to the surface. She retrieved the key and thanked the pool for its guidance. With the golden key in hand, Elara returned to the ancient stone pedestal. The pedestal's inscription began to glow with a soft, warm light. Elara placed the key into a hidden slot, and the pedestal opened, revealing a hidden chamber filled with vibrant, glowing crystals. As Elara entered the chamber, she saw the heart of the forest, a radiant crystal that pulsed with a gentle, soothing light. She approached the crystal and, with a heart full of gratitude, gently touched it. The crystal's light spread throughout the forest, revitalizing the Whispering Brook. The waters flowed once more, clear and sparkling, and the whispers returned, carrying stories and secrets through the village. The brook's magic was restored, and the villagers rejoiced as the soft melodies filled their hearts with joy and wonder. Elara returned to Greenvale as a hero, celebrated for her bravery, kindness, and wisdom. The Whispering Brook became even more cherished than before, its whispers now more vivid and full of life. And so, the tale of Elara's adventure became a cherished story in Greenvale, a reminder of the magic that lies in courage, kindness, and wisdom, and the power of a heart that listens to the whispers of the world. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between emerald forests and sparkling seas, there lived a kind and curious young girl named Seraphina. She lived in the quaint village of Glenshire, a place where every tree seemed to whisper secrets and every brook sang psalms of old. Glenshire was known for its beautiful moonlit grove, a mystical forest that glowed softly under the light of the full moon. It was said that the moonlit grove was protected by ancient magic, and that within its depths lay a secret that could grant the pure of heart a single, extraordinary wish. One night, as the full moon bathed the village in its silvery glow, Seraphina's grandmother, Nana Elara, told her a story. Long ago, Nana Elara began, a great sorceress named Luna cast a spell upon the grove. She hid the moonstone, a gem of immense power, within the heart of the forest. Only one who is pure of heart and brave of spirit can find it and unlock its magic. Seraphina listened with wide eyes, her heart racing with excitement. She loved her village dearly and often wished she could do something grand to help her people. That night, she made a decision. She would find the moonstone and use its power to bring everlasting prosperity to Glenshire. The next morning, Seraphina packed a small satchel with essentials, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, a warm cloak, and a locket that had once belonged to her mother. She kissed Nana Elara goodbye and set off towards the moonlit grove, her heart filled with determination. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to part, welcoming her into their magical realm. The air was cool and fragrant with the scent of blooming night flowers. The light of the full moon filtered through the canopy, creating a path of silver light that Seraphina followed. Deep within the grove, Seraphina encountered a majestic stag with antlers that shimmered like stardust. The stag regarded her with wise, gentle eyes. "I am Astral, guardian of the moonlit grove," he said in a deep, melodic voice. "What brings you here, child of the village?" Seraphina bowed respectfully. "I seek the moonstone to help my village. I wish to use its magic to bring prosperity to our land." Astral nodded thoughtfully. "Your heart is pure, and your intentions are noble. But to find the moonstone, you must prove your worth by passing 3 trials: the trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of compassion." Seraphina agreed without hesitation. Astral led her to a clearing where the first trial awaited. For the trial of courage, he explained, you must face your deepest fear. As he spoke, the clearing darkened, and a shadowy figure emerged from the trees. It was a fearsome wolf with glowing red eyes, representing Seraphina's fear of the unknown. She trembled but stood her ground, remembering Nana Elara's words, "True courage is not the absence of fear but the triumph over it." Summoning all her bravery, Seraphina faced the wolf and said, "I am not afraid of you. I seek the moonstone for the good of my village." The wolf growled but then vanished into the night, and the clearing brightened once more. Astral smiled. "You have passed the trial of courage. Now, for the trial of wisdom." He led her to a grove filled with ancient trees whose leaves shimmered with hidden runes. In the center stood a grand oak with a hollow trunk. Inside this tree lies a puzzle. Solve it to prove your wisdom. Seraphina entered the hollow and found a series of runes carved into the wood. She realized they formed a riddle: "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" She pondered for a moment, then remembered a similar riddle from a story Nana Elara had told her. "An echo," she whispered, and the runes glowed brightly, revealing a hidden passage that led her back to Astral. "You have passed the trial of wisdom," Astral said. "Now, for the final trial, the trial of compassion." He led her to a glade where a wounded fox lay whimpering in pain, a thorn stuck in its paw. Without hesitation, Seraphina knelt beside the fox. She gently removed the thorn and used a strip of her cloak to bandage the wound. The fox looked at her with gratitude and licked her hand before scampering away into the forest. Astral nodded approvingly. "You have shown courage, wisdom, and compassion. You are worthy of the Moonstone. Follow me." He led her to the heart of the grove, where a small, crystalline pond glowed with an ethereal light. At its center lay the Moonstone, radiating a soft, mesmerizing glow. Seraphina approached the pond and carefully picked up the gem. As she held it in her hands, she felt a surge of warmth and magic flow through her. "Make your wish, Seraphina," Astral said. With her heart full of love for her village, Seraphina closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for Glenshire to flourish with abundance, happiness, and harmony." The Moonstone glowed brightly, and its magic spread through the grove, across the village, and throughout the land. Trees bore fruit, rivers flowed with crystal-clear water, and the villagers felt a renewed sense of joy and prosperity. Seraphina returned to Glenshire, where she was greeted with cheers and celebrations. Nana Ilara hugged her tightly, proud of her granddaughter's bravery and selflessness. The story of Seraphina's journey spread far and wide, and the villagers lived in peace and plenty, forever grateful for her courage. From that day on, the Moonlit Grove remained a place of wonder and magic, protected by the spirit of the Moonstone and the legacy of the brave girl who had found it. And so, under the light of the full moon and the guardianship of Astral, the kingdom of Valoria lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a bustling village at the edge of an ancient forest, there lived a young tailor named Finn. Finn was known throughout the village for his exceptional skill with a needle and thread. His creations were not only beautiful but also seemed to bring a touch of magic to those who wore them. One sunny morning, while Finn was working in his shop, a mysterious old woman entered. She wore a tattered cloak, and her eyes sparkled with a hidden wisdom. "Good day, young tailor," she said in a voice that was both gentle and commanding. "I have a special request for you. Can you mend this cloak for me?" Finn examined the cloak and saw that it was unlike any fabric he had ever seen. It shimmered with a silvery glow and felt as light as a feather. He nodded and agreed to mend it. As he worked, the old woman watched him closely. When he finished, she smiled and handed him a small, ornate box. "Inside this box," she said, "is an enchanted needle. It has the power to create garments that can protect the wearer from any harm. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely." Before Finn could ask any questions, the old woman disappeared, leaving behind only a faint scent of lavender. Curiosity piqued, Finn opened the box and found a needle that sparkled like a star. That night, as Finn lay in bed, he dreamed of distant lands and heroic adventures. He awoke with a newfound sense of purpose. He decided to use the enchanted needle to help his fellow villagers. Over the next few weeks, he made garments that healed the sick, protected farmers from harsh weather, and even brought good luck to those in need. Word of Finn's extraordinary creation spread far and wide, reaching the ears of a powerful and greedy baron who ruled over a distant kingdom. The baron, eager to possess the enchanted needle, sent his soldiers to the village to capture Finn and seize the needle. One stormy night, the soldiers arrived and stormed Finn's shop. They demanded he hand over the needle, but Finn refused. The soldiers began to ransack his shop, and in the chaos, the enchanted needle slipped from Finn's grasp and fell into a hidden corner. Just as the soldiers were about to take Finn away, the old woman from before appeared once more. She raised her hand, and a brilliant light filled the room, blinding the soldiers. When the light faded, the soldiers found themselves outside the village, unable to find their way back. The old woman turned to Finn and said, "You have shown great courage and selflessness, young tailor. The enchanted needle has chosen you as its guardian. But there is a greater task that lies ahead." She explained that deep within the ancient forest, there was a legendary tree known as the Tree of Whispers. This tree held the wisdom of ages and could grant a wish to anyone who proved their worth. The forest, however, was filled with dangers and guarded by a fierce dragon named Drakkar. Determined to protect his village and honor the gift of the enchanted needle, Finn set off on a journey to the Tree of Whispers. Armed with only his needle and a heart full of bravery, he ventured into the forest. The path was treacherous, filled with twisting vines and hidden traps. But Finn's resolve never wavered. After days of travel, he reached a clearing where the majestic Tree of Whispers stood. Its leaves shimmered with a golden light, and its branches seemed to whisper secrets of the universe. But before Finn could approach the tree, Drakkar the dragon emerged from the shadows, its scales glistening like emeralds. Drakkar roared, shaking the ground beneath Finn's feet. "Who dares to enter my domain?" the dragon bellowed. With a steady voice, Finn replied, "I am Finn, a humble tailor from the village. I seek the wisdom of the Tree of Whispers to protect my people." Drakkar eyed Finn suspiciously. "You must prove your worth, tailor. Show me the power of your enchanted needle." Finn took a deep breath and held up the needle. He began to sew with incredible speed, crafting a garment made of light itself. The fabric shimmered and flowed like water, and as he worked, Finn sang a song of courage and hope. The garment took shape as a cloak, and when Finn placed it on his shoulders, it glowed with a radiant light. Drakkar, seeing the purity of Finn's heart and the beauty of his creation, bowed his head. "You have proven yourself worthy, Finn," Drakkar said. "You may approach the Tree of Whispers." Finn stepped forward, and the tree's golden leaves rustled softly. A gentle voice spoke, "Brave tailor, you have shown great courage and selflessness. What is your wish?" Finn bowed his head and said, "I wish for the power to protect my village and all those who are in need." The Tree of Whispers glowed brightly, and a single golden leaf floated down into Finn's hand. "Your wish is granted," the tree whispered. "The enchanted needle will now possess even greater magic, and your heart will always guide you." Filled with gratitude, Finn returned to his village, where he used the enhanced power of the enchanted needle to bring prosperity and protection to his people. The village flourished, and Finn's legend spread far and wide. And so, the brave tailor who spoke to the stars and ventured into the ancient forest became a hero. His deeds were celebrated for generations, and the enchanted needle was passed down through his family, ensuring that the magic and wisdom of the Tree of Whispers would never be forgotten. The end. The Silver Fox and the Moonlit Lake. In a hidden valley surrounded by towering mountains and dense forests, there was a tranquil lake known as Moonlit Lake. Its waters were so clear that they mirrored the sky, and by night, the lake sparkled with the light of the moon, casting an ethereal glow over the land. In this valley lived a graceful silver fox named Leora. Unlike other foxes, Leora had a magical ability. She could communicate with the creatures of the forest and understand their needs. She used her gift to maintain harmony among the forest's inhabitants. The vanishing moonlight. One evening, as Leora wandered by the lake, she noticed that the moonlight seemed dimmer than usual. The once vibrant sparkle of the lake was fading, and the creatures of the forest were growing anxious. They gathered around Leora, expressing their concerns. A wise old owl named Orin spoke up. "Leora, something is wrong with the moonlight. It's as if it's being pulled away from us. The balance of our forest is at risk." Leora decided to investigate. She knew that the moonlight was crucial for maintaining the magic of Moonlit Lake and the well-being of the forest. With a determined heart, she set off on a journey to discover the cause of the fading light. The enchanted cave. Leora followed the path that led through the forest and up the mountains. As she climbed higher, she noticed that the light grew even dimmer. Eventually, she reached a hidden cave that glowed faintly with an otherworldly light. Inside the cave, Leora found a shimmering crystal, glowing with the same pale light as the moon. The crystal was embedded in a pedestal, but it was surrounded by a dark, swirling mist that seemed to be draining its light. As Leora approached, she felt a chill and saw a shadowy figure near the pedestal. The figure was a mischievous spirit named Nox, who thrived on darkness and sought to plunge the world into eternal night. Nox had been stealing the moonlight from Moonlit Lake to increase his own power. The battle of light and dark. Leora confronted Nox with courage. "You cannot take the moonlight from us. It is the lifeblood of our forest and the heart of Moonlit Lake." Nox sneered, "The darkness will rule, and there is nothing you can do to stop me." Determined to protect her home, Leora used her gift of communication to summon the animals of the forest. They gathered outside the cave, creating a powerful, united force. With their help, Leora began to counteract Nox's dark magic. The animals worked together to create a shield of light around the cave. Fireflies illuminated the area, and the song of nightingales created a harmonious melody that weakened Nox's power. Leora used her own magic to focus the energy of the moonlight, channeling it towards the crystal. As the battle raged, Leora felt the strength of the forest creatures and the warmth of the moonlight fueling her resolve. The crystal began to glow brighter, and the dark mist started to dissipate. Restoring the moonlight with a final, powerful surge of light, Leora and the forest animals overwhelmed Nox, banishing him from the cave. The crystal's light returned to its full brilliance, and the moonlight flowed back to Moonlit Lake, restoring its magical glow. The forest erupted in cheers as the creatures celebrated their victory. The moonlight danced on the lake's surface, more radiant than ever before. Leora felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that the balance had been restored. The legacy of Leora in gratitude, the creatures of the forest presented Leora with a beautiful, moonlit necklace made from the crystal's light. This necklace had the power to summon the moonlight in times of need, ensuring that the magic of Moonlit Lake would be protected forever. Leora wore the necklace with pride and continued her role as the guardian of the forest. Her bravery and the unity of the forest creatures were celebrated in stories and psalms, passed down through generations. Moonlit Lake remained a place of magic and wonder, a symbol of harmony between light and dark. And Leora, the silver fox with a heart full of courage, became a legendary figure whose tale inspired all who heard it. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and endless forests, there was a hidden valley known only to a few. This valley was renowned for its breathtaking beauty, but it held a secret more wondrous than any other, the Starlight Crystal, a gem said to possess the power to grant one great wish. In the nearby village of Everwood, there lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known for his bravery and his willingness to help anyone in need. Though he lived a modest life, he always dreamed of making a difference in the world beyond his village. One day, while helping his father in the fields, Finn overheard a traveler speaking of the Starlight Crystal and its extraordinary power. Inspired, Finn decided that he would seek out the crystal to make a wish that could help his village. With a sense of adventure and a heart full of hope, Finn set out on his quest. The journey to the hidden valley was treacherous, with steep cliffs, dense forests, and mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows. Finn was determined, though, and he braved each challenge with courage and perseverance. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl, sensing Finn's noble intentions, spoke to him. To find the Starlight Crystal, you must prove your heart's purity. You will face 3 trials that test your bravery, kindness, and wisdom. Finn nodded, ready to face the challenges. The first trial was to cross a treacherous chasm spanned by a fragile, swaying bridge. As he stepped onto the bridge, it began to tremble and creak. Finn's heart raced, but he focused on the goal and slowly made his way across, holding tightly to the ropes. Just as he reached the other side, the bridge collapsed behind him, and he knew he had passed the first trial. The second trial was a forest filled with enchanted creatures who had been cursed to sleep until someone showed them kindness. Finn found a small, injured fox tangled in thorns. He gently freed the fox and tended to its wounds, singing softly to calm it. As he did, the curse lifted, and the forest creatures awoke, their gratitude lighting up the dark woods. Finn had succeeded in the second trial through his compassion. The final trial was to solve a riddle posed by a shimmering, silver stream that flowed through the heart of the valley. The stream spoke in a gentle voice, "To reveal the path to the Starlight Crystal, you must answer this. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner?" Finn thought deeply, remembering the lessons he had learned on his journey. Suddenly, the answer came to him. "A stamp," he said with confidence. The stream sparkled and parted, revealing a hidden path lined with glowing flowers. Finn followed the path to a magnificent cave where the starlight crystal rested on a pedestal, bathing the cave in a soft, celestial glow. Finn approached the crystal and placed his hands on it. The crystal's light intensified, and a voice echoed through the cave. "You have proven your heart's worth. State your wish, and it shall be granted." Finn thought of his village and the struggles they faced. "I wish for my village to have prosperity and happiness, so that everyone may live well and support each other."
He lost the level.
The crystal's light enveloped Finn, and a warm, golden glow spread out from the cave. When Finn returned to Everwood, he found that the village had been transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the wells were full of fresh water, and the people were smiling and content. The village thrived like never before, and Finn's wish had come true. The villagers celebrated Finn's return, and he shared the story of his journey in the trials he had faced. The tale of Finn's bravery, kindness, and wisdom became a cherished legend in Everwood, and the village prospered with a newfound sense of unity and joy. Finn continued to live a humble yet fulfilling life, knowing that he had made a difference. The secret of the Starlight Crystal remained a treasured story, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that can come from selfless wishes. And so, Finn and the village of Everwood lived happily ever after, their days filled with prosperity, happiness, and the warm glow of shared dreams.